Before we get started, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let us explain.
Anchor has the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or computer.
When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more.
It is everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
And best of all, Anchor is totally free.
Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hey Gabe, I have a story for you.
Uh-huh.
So this other day, I think you'd be proud of me. I was on those dating apps, and I matched with the girl, and we were talking there, a little small talk, and out of nowhere, I got this courage to ask her out on a coffee date to Starbucks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it actually happened. I went. I was really nervous, but I went.
Good for you.
Yeah. I went on the tux. So I'm there. I buy her a coffee
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a very thoughtful person. She orders a basic drink, caramel frappuccino, extra whipped cream, extra caramel.
Extra whipped cream?
Yeah, she was really like, wow, it was a very expensive drink. She vented it too. Anyway, so we sit down and we're talking, and she goes to me, "Hey, your voice sounds very familiar. By any chance, are you a host on this podcast called Searching for MacGuffin?"
That's oddly specific.
It's kind of crazy, right?
This is crazy.
Exactly. And I was like, "What? Yes. Are you one of our 2 viewers?" And she's like, "Yes, I am."
What?
Exactly. So I was like, "What? How? This is crazy because I've never, besides us, you, me, George, Danny, and Leanne, I've never met anyone that actually listens to the show." And then I'm like, "Wow, thank you so much for listening." And she goes, "Yes, I love your voice. It's very high pitched. It reminds me of a teenage girl. She loves your voice, very soothing. She thinks George is a genius with all those deep endings he has."
Because he is.
Because he is. She says Dan is all right. She loves Leanne from that one episode. And they go, "Wow, I didn't know you were so into our show." So then I asked him, "Wow, you follow us? Do you follow us on social media?" And she was like, "Yeah, I follow you guys on S4M Podcast on Instagram."
A true fan.
A true fan. And then I was like, "Okay, you do this, but do you support us financially? Do you contribute?" And she's like, No, I don't."
I'm sorry?
Yeah, she said no, she doesn't.
And she made you get extra whipped cream
She
on her
made me-
coffee?
Exactly. So I stood up and I left.
As you should have.
Yeah. My dignity was on the line. And this is why I need you to give us more money so I can go on more dates, so I can pay more $13 coffee, so I can finally marry someone who can then support the show. So for now, until I find my rich baby mama or someone that has money, I need you to support the show. All right, have a great day.
Welcome to another week's episode of Searching for MacGuffin with your host, George,
Gabe?
And Link.
and a very special guest host today, my wife, Gisela.
Oh, hi everyone. My name is Gisela.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do it in a Borat accent.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't think Borat's wife does it in a Borat accent.
Borat has a wife?
I don't think we never
Isn't
met.
that what he's constantly talking about?
Doesn't he marry the African American lady?
The first one?
Is
Yeah.
that in the sequel?
I don't.
He takes her back to Kyrgyzstan.
Okay,
Kazakhstan.
I saw that with my youth pastor when I was a kid, so it was a very traumatizing
Wait,
experience
what?
for me. Yeah, they took us to watch Borat at the movie theater, so I don't remember most of it.
It could be worse. You could watch The Joker with your teacher.
I don't know. Borat with your youth pastor is a little...
No, definitely my experience was worse. But we're not here to talk about Borat, although it is an Oscar-nominated film. Today's episode is titled For Your Consideration, and we're going to be talking about the Oscar-nominated films. Now, the Oscars has always been a big tradition among us. We like to kind of consider ourselves amateur cinephiles, in a sense. That sounds weird. Cinephiles?
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
word?
Yeah, that.
Cinephile?
But it's also a weird term, I think.
Yeah, because it
Yes,
sounds
it
like
is.
inappropriate and like kind of
Like sin.
perverse. No, it was the file part that. But so we challenged ourselves to watch. Well, some of us challenged ourselves to watch most of the films that are nominated for Oscars this year to varying degrees of success, which is why my wife is here, because she's a big movie fan and she was with me every step of the way, every grueling step of the way, and I'm sure she'll have some insight on that. What was your experience, Gise, on watching 35 of the 40 films that were nominated in the past couple of months?
Hard. I don't think I have the stamina that you and Gabriel have, but definitely it was a fun experience.
Okay.
It was, I mean, it's not the first time that we have done this kind of movie marathons,
Mm-hmm.
but not like specifically aimed to the Oscars.
Yeah, we usually try to watch all the Best Picture noms and maybe like the directing if there's one there that's not Best Picture, but watching every nominated film, we missed a couple of them. We're pretty sure we're going to get to all of them by the time the Oscars roll around, but by the time this episode, there's like about 4 or 5 that we haven't seen. What about you, Gabe? What was your experience?
As far as the Oscars go, with Best Pictures, especially, I guess that's like the main one that everyone tries to get, like squeak in. I really didn't have a history of that. I think it was 2019 that I tried to watch a majority of the Best Picture films.
Okay.
But yeah, because I realized that a lot of the Best Picture winners I had not seen for a couple of years. But I think with the fact that I had A-list, and with the inclusion of streaming services picking up all these films, I think that it became easily accessible to the point where it's like the majority of films were like they were within reach. They weren't something that I couldn't that like it wasn't unavailable to me. So I think that it was easier for me, I guess, to watch it. It was still a lot of films to watch, but the fact that I really could watch most of them was kind of like a challenge to me. So I undertook the challenge, and I think I saw most of them. Out of everything nominated, I think I missed 2 films that aren't available to watch.
Yeah. And I guess we'll talk about those when we get to those categories. But yeah, almost everything was available. Almost everything was available at home. I think I saw 1 or 2 of them, that I had to go out of my way to watch in theater. I know you saw a lot of them in theaters, right? Was that your approach?
Yeah.
If you could see them in theaters.
Yeah, I was also like, depending on interest and the social setting, like if other people I was with wanted to watch it with me. I think there's only 1 film that I saw by myself in the theaters. But everything else was either at home or either with friends or with you guys.
Yeah.
For the invite.
I'm pretty sure you were there for most of them.
Not that one he watched in the theaters.
Which was the one that you saw alone in the theater?
Cyrano.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was a good one.
Is it weird going to the theaters by yourself?
Thanks for the invite.
No, I think I was used to it when I was back up in Tennessee. I think I was just used to like either watching movies with myself. I invite people to go, but sometimes they couldn't go, so it wasn't gonna stop me from going. There was that like random person in the back that was just like weeping at the end of it. And I'm just like, there was like 3 of us in the theater, so it's interesting.
Yeah, I heard a friend mention to me that at the end of West Side Story, like an old Hispanic lady just stood up and was like, "This is real life. This is what happens here in America." And I was like, I guess that is an experience that you can't really get sitting at home on Disney Plus like I watched it. So
yeah, I also think there's a difference. I think for me, I think when it comes to watching something in theaters as opposed to watching it at home, the whole being able to pause and go go to the bathroom or pick something up or answer the phone,
especially with some of these movies being 3 hours long.
Yeah, it's definitely it was interesting. I think that those 3-hour movies end up being like 3.5, 4 with the pauses and the breaks and the things that you have to do it in between,
or an episodic series.
Yeah, exactly. like some of the films that took me like 3 days or 4 days to end up watching.
Yeah. And this is a longer conversation. You were gonna say?
I know. I'm saying that for us, it was it was so much better watching it at home.
Absolutely.
After like work, sometimes you cannot make it to the movie theaters, and we could just turn on the TV and watch it.
Yeah.
So I think that it wasn't because of streaming, we would never watch all these movies.
Even gotten close, right? Like we were lagging behind the last week, and I was like, "Babe, okay, we have to watch this, and this in the theater this week." We were off of work, so we had like more time, and she was like, "We have to go that many times." I was like, "If we're gonna watch them all, then yes." But thankfully, that last week, those last couple of films came at home, and we were able to watch them.
And it's crazy to think about that we have like the infinity gauntlet of streaming.
Yeah.
Like that, like we're blessed to like be able to like figure out how to watch them and have all these streaming services. When some people don't have that, some people literally have to go drive to the theater every time they want to watch one of these
If
films.
they're even playing those movies in their region.
Peasants.
And this is a longer conversation that we had back in our previous episode, Theaters Then and Now. So for our listeners, I recommend going back, and we're going to talk about that for a long time in that episode. But in regards to this selection of film, what was your experience, Link?
My experience with these movies and the Oscars. Actually, I grew up loving the Oscars. Ever since I was young, I would watch the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part of the Oscars was the host. I love the hosts.
Okay.
Because they would usually get people that I loved, comedians that I loved, Billy Crystal, Steve Martin.
Didn't Tina Fey and
Amy Poehler.
I think they did the Golden Globes.
Oh, it's the Golden Globes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I always loved the hosts. They always get a comedian to do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite aspects of the Academy Awards. But I don't really care about the Academy Awards anymore.
Oh, that's kind of a hot take. Why?
I just stopped caring about them. I guess I'm along with those people that stopped viewing the Oscars. Like, not, viewership goes down every year for the Oscars. I guess people realize it doesn't really matter anymore.
Why would you say that? Why do you think it doesn't really matter?
Why doesn't it really matter? Because the reason why I don't think it matters is because the movie that wins Best Picture isn't always the best movie.
Oh, well, that is
it's always the safest picture that wins. The ones that I think, okay.
You think Shape of Water was the safest picture that year?
Clear Oscar bait.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too.
The
other thing that Gabe mentioned is true. Oscar bait. There's certain types of movies that are attracted to this.
Sure.
You know me, I love comedy, right?
Uh-huh.
Is comedy represented in the Oscars?
I mean, sometimes there's really funny ones. I think The King's Speech is hilarious.
Yeah.
Shape of Water is hilarious.
Schindler's List was
okay.
all-time great.
Every movie's not gonna be funny. Like, you're gonna tell me Schindler's List is not an all-time great though?
Yeah,
that was kind of a hyperbolic example. Yeah. That's funny that you say that though, because I remember you FaceTiming with me.
Yeah, exactly. That's how much
like
I love the
screen
Oscars.
sharing when we lived on different sides of the country to watch the Oscars
that's how
together.
Much I love the Oscars.
What was the catalyst for you to check out?
What was the Green Mile winning Best Picture?
Oh.
Green Book?
The Green Book?
Yeah, exactly.
8 Mile winning the Best Picture.
Why, you don't like Michael Clark Duncan in The Green Mile?
Oh, I meant
The Blind Lawyer?
It wasn't funny enough.
What was nominated that year?
A lot of movies that were better.
Won,
to
I was like, that was 2019, right?
The movie that should have won was probably Three Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri.
Okay.
So it's like they always pick the safest picture, the one, and for example, this year, right?
Yeah.
The movie that I think should win it is gonna be Belfast.
Whoa.
No, but I have to prove my point here.
Okay.
The movie that I think is gonna win it should win it is Belfast.
Okay.
From the movies that I've seen, I haven't watched them all. Right. The one that's gonna win it.
That's an interesting take. You haven't watched them all though.
But the one that's gonna win it, and which I haven't watched, is gonna be West Side Story.
Okay.
Because what happens is.
But that was a great film.
It's a great film. Yes, you're right. Was it a financially successful film?
No.
No, right?
Are any movies financially successful unless they have a Marvel superhero in them at this point?
What the Oscars do is that if you win it's marketing. Mm-hmm. It's all marketing. If you win Best Pictures,
it is marketing.
The total profits of the movie goes up. For example, King's Speech, when it came out, it did all right in the box office, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember we watched it in theaters when it came out.
Yeah.
It made $30 million. After it won Best Picture, it went up to $400 million.
Yeah.
So what happens is that these studios used the Oscars, Academy Awards as a marketing device. So because they know they're going to make money off this, they try to they kind of lobby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lobby their way into voting, the people voting. Uh-huh. So it's not really who wins best. The best movie isn't always going to win. It's going to be the one that gets lobbied the most.
But I do believe, though, that somewhat of what you're saying is true. I do believe, though, that for the most part, the movies that get nominated into these categories are great films.
They're great.
Absolutely.
And whatever wins is really a matter of taste for me. Because I'm looking at the list that I have in front of me of this year's nominees. And for the most part, they're all really fantastic.
They're all good movies, but it's not. And this is why people stop watching it, because it's not what people want to win.
Mhm.
You get me?
So it
Like,
should be the People's Choice Awards.
No, because even then, there are movies there that everyone thinks should win. For example, Forrest Gump. We all loved it, right? It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Most people would say, "Oh, Pulp Fiction should have won that." What's a more memorable movie?
Yeah, I don't think
Pulp
most
Fiction.
people, because that year, most of the members in the Academy who vote didn't think that. So,
Also, by the way, Forrest Gump,
No,
pretty iconic.
it's a good movie, but
yeah. It made a difference.
But Pulp Fiction has made more of a difference.
I
than-
love
You
Pulp
think
Fiction.
so?
Pulp Fiction
I
has
think-
made more of a difference.
I
than-
think Forrest Gump is as reference in movies as Pulp Fiction is today.
Honestly, if you're asking me,
No, for me, for example, like Shakespeare in Love. We all love
exactly.
that movie.
Shakespeare in Love shouldn't have won, but that was Harvey
was-
Weinstein
Was
lobbying.
it Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah,
that
Saving
was
Private Ryan should have won.
nominated that year.
Yes, Saving Private Ryan should have won, but Harvey
What?
Weinstein lobbied for Shakespeare in Love to win. So it's not always the best movie that wins; it's the one that which is usually the safest movie to win.
if we take,
So, for example,
if we take a Democratic vote on anything, can't you say the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But what
who's
I-
president of the United States? Is it the people America wants? Whoever spent the most money and convinced the most people?
Mm-hmm.
For
Like, isn't
example,
it, if we choose your the class president or the CEO of this company, isn't it the same thing? Whoever lobbied and
for example, back to Forrest Gump and Pulp Fiction, right? Which one pushed cinema further? Which one pushed the envelope
that's
on cinema?
arguable. It's arguable.
Oh,
I would
that's
say
very
it's
I
Pulp
think
Fiction.
so too.
I disagree.
I
I think
think-
Forrest Gump is more of a safer bet.
I think Forrest Gump
I
is
don't-
innovative.
I
I think if
think-
you grow up watching movies 20
Yeah.
years after Forrest Gump, you think it's safe, but it's not safe the year it comes
I
out.
think it was very daring for Forrest Gump to retell history.
You're right. You're
the
right
way
on that one,
he
right?
did.
But which one was more daring between the two?
But it
It's
depends
a-
on what
it's
you
a matter of
find
opinion,
daring.
yeah.
Yeah, because I do think that Pulp Fiction was, it was a bold movie in a different way, but Forrest Gump was also a
Yeah.
very bold movie. I mean, it retold history in a different way. It was irreverent in that way,
Yeah.
I think, and it was just different. Like I said, like I do agree with some what you're saying. However, I do think that for the most part, these nominees are great
Yeah,
films.
I also
They're all
love-
great of
Films, it's
opinions.
just-
Yeah.
I also love Pulp Fiction. I think it's one of my favorite movies, but I think that it is a movie from a raw and new filmmaker, and Forrest Gump is a movie from a master filmmaker. And where they
Mhm.
are in the development, that's just my personal
Right,
opinion. Yours can
right.
be different, but so can the people
Right.
voting in the Academy.
Right.
Thinking next generation, baby.
But we're not
I
here.
I don't even think that Forrest Gump and what's the other one?
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
I don't even think that's a good example.
Yeah,
because
how
they're
can you even
four-
compare?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
No,
they're
that's
so
not a good
great
example, right?
movies.
But even that, wait.
They're all so iconic.
The year that
you know?
Crashing won, should Crashing have won it?
Okay, that is
Crash,
a better
the movie's
example.
Crash.
Crash. Okay, my bad.
That's
Right.
a better
That-
example.
Hey, Crashing,
yeah.
great show on HBO
I don't
Max.
even remember what else.
If you have
Yeah.
HBO Max, check
Crash.
out
Watch that
Crashing.
show, please.
That show is great.
Didn't Stars make a Crash show based on the movie as well?
I heard about that, but I don't know.
I've never seen it. But we're not here to talk about the 1995 and 1996 Oscar winners.
Hopefully, yeah.
Although our listeners who love conflict probably just had a really good introduction to today's episode. We're here to talk about the 2022. And yes, I finally...
Avatar won over Inglourious
Oh,
Basterds.
you're just going to keep going.
That was
What
that won
was it?
Best Picture.
What?
Avatar won Best
Avatar
Picture.
did not
no.
win Best Picture.
Avatar won Best Picture.
That's not possible. That's not true.
I thought Inglourious.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is
Fake
cinematography.
news.
This is cinematography. You're right.
Fake.
I thought-
Bro, I would have walked up right
This
here.
is
No,
the end.
one Best Picture that
The
year.
Oscars
I
are
thought
a
it was
sham.
Inglourious
No,
Bastard.
The Hurt Locker
Oh,
won.
the Hurt
The Hurt
Locker was
Locker's
a
a great-
great
that's a great
film.
film,
man.
That's
Yeah.
a great film.
Yeah, that was a great
But which
film.
movie are people going to remember more, The Hurt Locker or Inglourious
Both.
Basterds?
I don't know. It
If you
gave
know
us.
movie,
It gave us Jeremy
Jeremy
Renner.
Renner, yeah.
I mean,
That
we
movie's
remember
great,
that.
man.
It
Yeah,
was
that
amazing.
movie was great.
But which is more memorable?
Actor in a leading role. This year, for actor in a leading role, we have Javier Bardem for Being the Ricardos.
Also, no comedy, bro. Represent comedy more.
Being the Ricardos is literally a
is-
comedy.
Comedy is harder to
I-
do
my
than
fir-
drama.
the
It's always drama that wins.
The first title I just announced is a comedy.
It's a comedy.
That's a comedy?
Yeah, Being the
Yes.
See,
Ricardos.
but that's not even a... Bro.
Benedict.
That's a light comedy.
Okay,
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch, The Power of the Dog. Andrew Garfield, Tick Tick Boom, which apparently the whole world saw before me.
Mm.
Apparently they all saw it for Christmas. I just
They should have a
watched
comedy category.
it. Will Smith. That's dumb, and that's a completely other.
Okay, but that's the
conversation.
reason why the Oscars.
You know
no
what?
one watches the Oscars.
You know what happens when there's a comedy category? The
Mhm.
Martian wins. Okay, Will Smith. Will
Not
Smith.
necessarily true.
That's what happened in the Golden Globes. Will Smith, King Richard, and Denzel Washington, The Tragedy of Macbeth. Okay, I'm gonna start with Tragedy of Macbeth real quick because this is, him and Frances McDormand, I believe, are the only nominations. It's just for acting, right? This movie,
Wild.
maybe. Yeah, I think this movie deserves to be Best Picture, like nominated for Best Picture. I love this movie.
I don't understand why it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, because X amount of people vote for X amount of titles, and it just doesn't make the cut. It wasn't
Even then, the way voting makes no sense.
the way voting makes actually absolute sense, but we don't have time how to get into it right now. The Tragedy of Macbeth. How was Denzel in this film?
Just phenomenal, man.
Oh,
like,
he was, man, he was great.
when was the last time we saw him? Like, do you remember? Like in a.
That I can remember, and I know he's made movies since then, but Fences is the big, like,
Yeah, it was a big
Fences.
Fan.
Like-
The last one.
yeah, standout role
Yeah,
for me.
Not
And-
the Equalizer too.
No, it was definitely not the Equalizer.
The sequelizer.
You
And-
missed opportunity right there.
I love Fences as a play. I love Macbeth as a play. A career renaissance as a, like, theater actor
Yes, yes.
for
I
Denzel.
I mean, he was great in this film. It's really difficult to do Shakespeare.
Yeah.
We all know that, right?
And-
Shakespeare is like the Everest of like for actors.
Mm-hmm.
The language, challenge, but Denzel articulated Shakespeare like he was having a modern conversation right now. And that is one of the things that I loved about his performance.
Yeah, every way that he moved, like you said, he articulated very well. But I also think he articulated his movement, his body
Mhm.
language
Yes.
was phenomenal.
Yes.
King Richard, Will Smith. This was
Not a Shakespeare.
No, it was not.
Sounds like a Shakespeare.
It does.
Yeah,
It
it's true.
really does.
the movie about and this movie we'll talk about it later because it's up for Best Picture. The father of Venus and Serena Williams, which is a very interesting choice for a topic.
Mhm.
You'd think you'd make a movie about them, but rather Will Smith plays Richard Williams. This was a phenomenal performance for me.
I
as
think
well.
this is his best. I mean, as I was watching the movie, I did not see Will Smith,
Mhm.
which is really hard for Will Smith to do.
Yeah.
Because he's a personality, right? When you see Will Smith, you're gonna get Will Smith for the most part.
Yeah, we've seen like hints of this, like really good performances, like in The
Right.
Pursuit of Happiness and in After Earth. Was it the one with his son? I'm just kidding. That's not a
I was
good
about
one.
to say what.
I'm like, what?
But he transformed into a different
Yes.
performance.
It was fantastic,
Into a king.
It was definitely out of his comfort zone.
and I think he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I think he was great.
I didn't know that Venus and Serena came out of royalty. You get me?
Okay.
Now
It's-
you
I
know.
think it's figurative.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, you should watch. You haven't seen this one, right?
no.
You should watch it
should.
because the Punisher is in it. Is that a good
Oh,
sell?
Yes.
oh.
Yeah, Tom Jane.
Yes.
He's
Is he-
No,
fantastic.
not Tom.
Oh, sorry.
Is he Venus?
No. It's a shame he's not nominated. Tick Tick Boom, Andrew Garfield.
Big year for Andrew Garfield.
Yes,
Mhm.
very big
Yeah,
year.
man. I
What
thought
a renaissance for his career.
I didn't think they were gonna make a sequel to The Hurt Locker, but here we have Tick Tick Boom.
3 of his movies were nominated: Tick Tick Boom, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and Spider-Man: No Way Home. Spoilers.
He was.
Oh, he's in it.
Yeah, yes, he's in it. Yes,
Wait,
it was nominated
Spider-Man?
for visual effects. Yes.
Oh, okay.
See, that could be nominated for Best Picture.
No, I disagree, but okay.
But next year,
That-
The
you-
Batman better
know,
be nominated.
I have
for
the
Best
show
Yes,
Picture.
I see.
I do
the
agree with that.
Batman
'Cause The Dark Knight should have
being
been nominated as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the show for you, the MTV Video Movie Awards. Okay, check it out.
Actually, no. I found the year that the Social Network didn't win Best Picture, that was a tragedy.
Okay.
Wait, the Social Network didn't win?
Exactly.
Who-
Exactly.
Not
What
every
won?
movie can win when they
No,
make.
no. But they made. I mean, the Social Network without winning is it's a very popular movie.
Exactly.
So it didn't really
It's because of
need
the way-
the win to be like the Social Network.
But shoot, if it might have not needed it, but if it's the best one, then
But it
why
was
not win
nominated, right?
It was
I
nominated.
think it was. And
Right.
this
Link's gonna keep dragging us into conversations
he
about
wants to make
previous
his
years.
point.
Andrew Garfield was amazing here, a musical performance, story about the creator of Rent, the writer of Rent. I thought he was actually even better in Eyes of Tammy Faye. Am I the only one?
No, I agree with you. I think that the Eyes of Tammy Faye was a more transformative performance.
Yeah.
Than this one.
Which I guess is what...
I mean, he was great in both of them.
Yeah. That's what we look like, me and you. I'm
Right.
speaking to my wife. Like, we look for those, like,
My
transformative,
wife.
like, completely different roles, like, out of comfort zone.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. But I think he was great in this.
I mean, you could always appreciate a subtle, performance,
Yeah.
real life,
Mhm.
but out of the two, I thought he was more impressive.
And I didn't know he had the musical talent.
No, that was really cool to hear him sing. Yeah.
I loved him in both.
Yeah.
I think he was phenomenal. I think I'd watch Tick Tick. This is the thing, like some of these films, like I'd watch like in different like spans of time. So I watched Tick Tick Boom way before Eyes of Tammy Faye. I didn't even know he was in the Eyes of Tammy Faye until I watched it for Jessica Chastain's nomination.
Yeah.
Right.
Which it was a pleasant surprise, and I think I will agree that I think his performance was better because it was. I mean, I learned a lot in both films.
Yeah.
But I had no idea about like Tammy Faye and her story and the story with the character that Andrew Garfield had played.
Yeah.
And I mean, upon these these films, I kind of like go back and do my own research of what actually happened, what
Yes,
they look like
absolutely.
in interviews. And going back and seeing that, I was like, even in both, he did such a great job,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, there's a sequence, spoilers, in Tick Tick Boom, where the character, what's his name?
He booms.
No, that one that he's performing. Okay, that he's doing this sequence. He's actually put his musical together, and Andrew Garfield is singing the whole entire thing with his, musicians. I don't know, like I guess he's putting it together, or he's
Correct.
performing it for a small audience. That was one of the best parts of the movie that I was like, okay, this is why he's nominated for the Oscar.
Jonathan Larson is his name.
There we go,
Jonathan
Jonathan
Larson.
Yeah.
And these are the stories that I really gravitate to, the real life stories,
Right.
movies like King Richard, Tick Tick Boom,
Right.
Eyes of Tammy Faye. 'Cause
Oscar bait, you mean?
they teach us about
I don't-
our
I don't-
history.
I don't
Oscar
think
bait.
so.
Yeah, I'm sorry that the Oscars like to teach you things that really happened.
I
Like,
feel like Link doesn't feel like he's represented at the
That's
Oscars.
right.
Okay,
with
that's
his
fair.
preference of films.
And
That is fair.
and if you articulate it that way, I
That is-
totally understand. But I
Yeah.
do think
I
that
did say that.
in the past couple of years,
yeah, he did say that.
yeah,
He
but
did.
but Gabriel, the way he articulated
Oh, okay.
specifically, not represented, I feel like we've made strides the last couple of years
Yeah.
to
Yes.
kind of bridge those gaps. You have
Mhm.
movies like Black Panther nominated for Best Picture.
That's comedy.
You
yeah.
have-
Or you have movies like Dune this year nominated
Oh,
for
yeah,
Best
I
Picture.
think that, yeah.
And
Hilarious.
uh, but
That's
you know,
what I mean.
you know what I mean. But you know what? There are comedies in this.
Yeah, not
in
comedies.
this-
Maybe comedies should take life a little more seriously, like in the sense of like providing meaning and not just being a diversion. The
That's
reality
why I think
is,
Belfast should win.
what would be this? What would be?
What do you get to see Coda?
No, I haven't seen
Oh
it.
yeah.
Oh,
that-
okay,
yeah.
then yeah.
Okay, so Benedict Cumberbatch, Power of the Dog.
That movie was good, man. The dog should have won. Been nominated.
Okay, have you seen any
There's-
of the movies
there's
in this
none of these
category?
films.
Okay.
There's no dog in this. Oh,
Okay,
there is a
What?
dog. It's
What's
a
why is it
dog.
called the power? Oh.
Yeah, it's actually
It's
it's a passage from
It's
the
the
Bible.
Bible. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not know that.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll talk about Power of the Dog in a little bit because it's nominated for like
But
almost every category.
Cumberbatch is wonderful.
Yeah.
That guy's so good.
Yes, he is. I mean, in this movie, and I'll talk about the movie later
Yeah.
because I know I'm probably one of the few that really like this movie in this room. But he was wonderful.
Is it his
Yeah.
best performance?
Yeah, so that's how it was sold to me going in. I don't think it was his best performance. I think he was great. I think this movie rests on his shoulders.
Well, what do you think his best performance is?
Doctor Strange, of course. You know how much I
Okay.
love Doctor Strange.
No, but for
Smog.
real.
Why isn't
like,
it nominated
what
for
other
Best Pic- I'm just
movie
kidding.
can you think of Cumberbatch being his?
Smog.
I feel like
Best performance.
it's in the wheelhouse of what his best performance are, like Imitation Game. Just basically anytime we get
Okay, he's
Cumberbatch.
far better in this movie than Imitation Game.
Okay, I'll give you that. You putting me on the spot. You're
No, because when I think of Cumberbatch and excellent performances, I think of Sherlock Holmes.
okay. There you go.
You
Smog.
know, that's what I think
Yeah.
of. Or
Smog.
however,
Stop saying smog.
Cumberbatch in this movie was
Overall.
yeah, man. Like this guy,
And finally, Javier Bardem. I think he was really good. I don't know that he embodied Desi Arnaz in this movie about Lucy and Ricardo.
How good is Javier Bardem?
He's
wonderful.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Did he deserve the nomination? or
Yeah,
something?
I don't know.
I personally don't think so. I think that everybody did really good.
Mm-hmm.
Even great, but not like amazing.
And that's me going back to them going with the safest option.
Yeah, maybe the thing about Javier Bardem and maybe about being the Ricardos is that it's just too funny. Maybe it shouldn't be nominated because I think that's what the problem with the movie is.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I never seen Lucy the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was asking so many questions when we were watching the movie.
Right.
Our
listeners weren't there, so they didn't know.
Was the
that,
guy
but-
was the guy Hispanic?
But-
Because I also didn't grow up.
Yeah,
with
he's
Yes,
Cuban.
He's
He's
Cuban.
I did not know that.
Yeah. He was great because Javier Bardem is so charismatic on screen and he is wonderful. And you're right. I don't know if this is his best performance. Like to be nominated with all these other guys. And I keep hitting the microphone. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, I don't think you're supposed to say it
Oh,
when you do it.
I don't
think you're
know.
just supposed to move on.
Oh, okay.
I
I'm
personally-
sorry.
Damn, you're so meta.
I personally loved the lead actor for Drive My Car's performance.
Okay, yeah. Like, and
Hidetoshi
why isn't it? Yeah.
Nishijima. I think he should have been nominated. I would prefer that. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like I would prefer that to Javier Bardem's performance. Not to take away from that performance, but I feel like that should have earned a spot more than.
Okay. So what's your pick here? Who do you think's gonna win? What would be your pick?
Will Smith's gonna win.
Will Smith. I'm with Link.
He won the BAFTA. He's gonna win.
That you think is gonna win?
Yeah.
If he won,
And
I-
to be
I-
fair, I think he's for me one of the most impressive performance out of.
if you win the
all of them.
BAFTA, you win this award automatically. Or
Oh, you see, I
Should you?
called it. I
Should
said
you?
Will Smith was gonna win.
Yeah.
It.
That's
Oh, I
actually
don't know. I don't know that Oscars haven't happened yet.
That's my pick.
That's
as
my
well.
pick.
although the dog and the power of the dog.
Yeah. No, Benedict Cumberbatch though
I mean,
was
maybe- yeah,
the leading
maybe.
favorite, but it seems like it's shifted to Will Smith, probably because of the BAFTA.
Yeah.
win. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna try to move through these categories just a little quicker.
Yes.
Than that. Actor in a supporting role. We got Ciarán Hinds, that's the grandfather in Belfast.
Oh, he was
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Troy Kotzer, he's the father in Coda.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
Jesse Plemons, who is the brother, right, in Power of
Mhm.
the Dog. J.K. Simmons, who is J.K. Simmons in Being the Ricardos. And Cody Smith McPhee, which is the nephew-in-law, I guess is
Yeah.
their relationship.
Mhm.
I guess
Son-in-law
that's how you
of
could define it.
Clemens.
Yeah, in Power of the Dog.
I'm
Who-
going with Cody.
What are your standouts here? Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Cody
That
Smith.
kid carried the movie as much as Cumberbatch did. His performance was great. Like the movie is as much as it is about him, that it is about Cumberbatch. And for me, out of all of this performance, for me, he's a standout.
What about you?
I
What
don't
would
even think he was a supporting role. I thought he was a main
yeah,
role.
and so this category gets dicey like that when there's like
Right.
two leads. We'll talk about
Mhm.
Catherine Zeta-Jones winning supporting role when she's
Mhm.
basically the lead in Chicago. But yeah, standout role because he's the lead. What's your pick, Gabriel?
I personally like Troy Kotzer for Coda.
Okay.
I think that the performance is very different, and I don't know, like that movie when I watched it, I was like, man, this is my favorite right now. There's probably like
Right.
maybe one or two other movies that I saw that I was like, okay, this is I think is better, but like I feel like the inclusion of the deaf community and the usage of sign language in film, especially this year, and what I've seen in so many other different mediums, has been exceptional. I think they're making strides in that aspect. But I personally thought that performance, without evoking like physical words that you can hear,
Yeah.
and then having to translate that to a meaningful relationship with the main character, his daughter, I just thought that was phenomenal in the way that they displayed it, the way that they did it. I think was great. And I also don't know why J.K. Simmons is in this category.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for J.K. Simmons because I really,
You haven't even seen. the movie.
I've always hated the guy when he plays Jonah Jameson.
Well, then you'll
Mm.
hate this because he plays J. Jonah Jameson.
Exactly, and that's why I think he's so good at. Like, if you make me hate you, your acting's amazing.
But you actually saw Belfast. You wouldn't go for Ciarán Hinds?
I'm
I-
sorry, who is he? Who is
The
he again?
grandfather, the
Oh,
grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah, he was good, but
It was good.
I thought it was great. I
He's no-
personally, go ahead.
Jake, Jameson.
But he's Steppenwolf, right? He's
Yeah.
from the
I
Snyder
personally
Cut.
think someone that kind of got passed over was Mike Faced from West Side Story as Riff.
Oh, okay.
I thought
Oh,
he did.
yeah.
A great,
yeah.
I thought he did a
Yeah.
great
I
job.
think him and
Right.
Bernardo, the actor for Bernardo, they stole the movie.
Yeah, they were
Mhm.
fantastic.
I mean,
Yeah.
just like Mercutio and Tybalt and Romeo and
Again,
Juliet.
they had a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
Like the movie was as much it was about them that it was about Maria and Tony.
And I don't think I had seen much of like what this actor has done before, but he held his own with the likes of people like established
yeah.
actors.
Right,
Yeah.
right. He was
My pick was Cody Smith McPhee, but actually what you said, Gabriel, actually changed my mind. It I think Troy Kutzer. And that seems to be what I've been hearing. Cody Smith McPhee was the early favorite,
Mhm.
but it's been shifting to Troy Kotzer, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. So yeah, Coda. I definitely recommend Coda. Watch Coda. Coda was an amazing movie. Actress in a leading role. We got Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman, The Lost Daughter, which me and Gise didn't get to watch. Penelope Cruz with Parallel Mothers, Nicole Kidman with Being the Ricardos, and Kristen Stewart in Spencer.
Kristen Stewart did phenomenal.
She did.
She did
I hate to
fantastic.
say it.
I mean, I I mean, we had talked about it before. Like, how did you feel? Like, how we felt about it? And there was something about it when I was watching. It was really weird. It was really early in the day when I watched it too.
Yeah.
But I felt uneasy, which I feel like was the point. Like they properly conveyed how she felt in that situation. I think was the goal. At least that's what I took away from it. And I felt like the part where she's just like gripping the pearls and wanting to like throw it out or like trying to eat the like with the soup.
Mhm.
I thought she did fantastic. Her accent was very good. Yeah, I think she did a phenomenal job. I think my pick for this category though, I think is Jessica Chastain.
Okay.
You know, I never really got into the Twilight movies. So
How
when I-
dare you? No, I'm
What
just
a
kidding.
shame.
I'm sorry.
Another reason why the Oscars suck. Twilight never got nominated.
So
I think Breaking Dawn Part 2
So-
won Best Picture the same year that Avatar did.
Makes sense.
so when
Wrong awards.
when we saw the movie and Kristen Stewart, you know, was the lead, and the first thing I told George, man, another movie about Princess Diana,
Yes.
like this
People love her.
past, yeah, like I guess because it's still so
People
relevant.
love to see her tormented.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I
I know
wonder
British
what
people do.
I wonder what else are they going to say about her life and about her suffering, and like it's all been so exposed.
Mm-hmm.
However, like Gabby said, I was very pleasantly surprised to see that the movie, it was a moment in time. It was not a whole biography about her life. It was
Yeah.
just a moment in time of her life.
Yeah.
And Kristen Stewart did really good. And coming from a person that I don't know much about her, only that she is from the Twilight movies, she was
in
very good.
Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yes. And then we got Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, like 20 years ago. I know.
She looked weird in that movie.
Okay, yeah. So the reviews that I heard about this movie, Being the Ricardos, which I highly recommend. I think it was really good. Was mixed reviews. Like some people hated it, some people loved it. Critics were split on it.
Right.
And the only thing I heard was like the hair and makeup was the best.
And
It was
I don't-
transformative. I disagree.
I don't think so.
I don't think she looked like Lucy at all. I don't think she had to, but I think
She
they
just looked
tried.
like Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. No,
No,
she looked
but
like
she-
a weird Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, she looked like a weird Nicole Kidman. I didn't like her makeup.
Yeah. I don't think they did a good job.
I think Jessica Chastain looked
Yeah.
so much better
Yeah, she was great.
Absolutely.
in the eyes of Tammy Faye than Nicole Kidman did in Being the Ricardos.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, Penelope Cruz in Parallel Mothers, she was great, but Penelope is always great.
Yeah.
Um,
She carries the movie.
right, but if I
That
have to say,
strange, peculiar
But
movie.
the movie, like,
Right.
literally, like, she drags them.
Yeah.
yes, but I would have to say, I didn't see Olivia.
Yeah, how was
And the
Olivia
Lost
Colman?
Daughters.
Olivia Colman's great in everything, man. Like, she's
Yeah.
a phenomenal actress. I just
Yeah.
think that, like, it was great.
Mhm.
But I
won it.
think that
She
there was
won it.
another.
She won it last year. She won something last year.
Oh,
2 years
okay,
ago.
I think she did win Best.
She usually sweeps.
She
yeah.
won Best
For the
Picture.
favorite, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
She won Best Actress last year,
Yeah.
2 years ago. So
Yeah.
I know my pick also goes to Jessica Chastain.
Same.
Yeah, I think she was so good.
Link, you didn't
And-
see any of them? What's your pick?
I'm gonna pick Nicole Kidman because when I watch some of the,
I feel like you watch her most of the time,
exactly
right?
when I
Every
watch
time
all-
you go to the movies.
every time I go to an AMC theater, she's there, and she was there in some of the Oscar movies I watched. So might as well just pick her.
All right, that's
Is she gonna
Because
win?
heartbreak feels good in a
Nope.
place like this.
All right, next.
actress in a supporting role. Jessica Buckley, Lost Daughter. Ariana DeBose, West Side Story. Judi Dench in Belfast, the grandmother. Kristen Dunst, Power of the Dog. And Anjanu Ellis in King Richard.
Oh man, she did. I didn't even know that one.
Yeah, you know what? You mentioned it when we watched King Richard. You were like, she should be nominated. She is nominated.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't see that. I guess I was looking at maybe Best Actress, but she's not the leading.
I think it was probably I didn't identify the name since she's,
Yeah.
up and coming.
Man, now I don't know. I think they all did fantastic. Kirsten Dunst, I think, did great.
Mm-hmm.
Jessie Buckley was my pick before this in The Lost Daughter.
Okay.
She plays
Wow.
a younger version of
Who
Olivia
is
Colman's
Jessie
character.
Buckley?
Well, we didn't watch the movie, so you wouldn't
Oh,
know.
is she a new actress?
I don't know if she's
Is
new,
she
but she's
like
not like a huge
international actress. Like, I never heard of her before.
name, right? Yeah, we like we mentioned, we didn't get to watch this one.
Right, so I'm not sure
While he looks
who
up
she is.
information on Jessie Buckley.
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot. Well, it's been mostly like television. She was in Chernobyl and Fargo.
Okay.
Oh, all the great shows that I haven't got to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, those are all excellent shows from what I hear. I saw Fargo season 1 and 2, and then I haven't seen past that.
She was in that awesome Robert Downey Jr. movie, Doolittle.
That is not, and I unfortunately saw that.
All right. For me,
Go ahead.
I don't know Jessie Buckley. I didn't get to see The Lost Daughter. So
I guess she was lost.
I have a friend. She's Puerto Rican. She watched the West Side Story,
Mhm.
and she did not like
Ariana
Ariana
DeBose.
DeBose performance. She didn't like her accent.
Is she Hispanic?
She is Nuyorican,
She's
I believe.
Nuyorican, yeah.
I'm not sure, but I know
Perfect,
she is Hispanic, but she doesn't speak Spanish. So when she spoke Spanish in the movie, you could hear her, I guess, American accent.
Mm-hmm.
They should have gotten J-Lo instead.
And
Able
so
to speak Spanish?
So for my Puerto Rican friends, they were kind of like, even though she's fantastic, she's great, and her, like George liked her numbers,
Everything, her
right,
choreography, her-
everything the best. They were a little bit, I don't know, disappointed. I
Yeah, I'm not
guess,
gonna
let down.
I'm not gonna interrupt you, but stop right there. Your friend is wrong. I have the same friend. They are wrong. Ariana DeBose is my pick.
Oh,
and
really?
I've
Wow.
heard that she's the favorite. to
She's,
win this.
really?
she's my pick. She won the BAFTA.
It's between.
Oh, she
did
did?
Yeah, so there
Okay.
you go.
How do you know these things for
Ah.
a person that is highly disillusioned
That's
with
He just looked
That's
it
how
up.
much I love the Oscars.
The BAFTAs. That's how
He
much
ju-
she
he
loves the
just looked it up.
BAFTAs.
Also, when I was in college,
You are very well informed.
when I was in college, I was
That was his cheat sheet.
when I was in college, I was in charge of this like dorm wide tournament in the
I
boys'
remember
dorm,
that.
where we Oscar wise. So I would do my homework
Got you.
and
Okay.
Yeah, to sucker all the kids that he was
Yeah.
gonna beat
I don't
before.
honestly don't know.
It's
I don't-
between her and Kristen Dunst, which
Kristen
again
Dunst
I
was
hate to
great.
say she was amazing,
She was so good.
but I'm gonna go with Ariana
Yes.
DeBose.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Animated feature. Okay, this is gonna be really
We don't
biased.
talk about Bruno. Yeah.
We have Encanto, Flea, Luca, The Mitchells versus the Machines, and Raya and the Last Dragon.
Canto for me. I'm super biased. I am Colombian.
Everyone on the show today is Colombian. So are we unanimously voting for Encanto?
okay, let's be
To
objective.
be different, I'll say Luca.
Okay.
Really,
I'm
really, Gabriel.
I love Luca.
No,
I'm-
I loved Luca. And any
I
other
love
year, it would be
Luca.
my pick. Any
I
other
love
year.
Luca, but
so yeah. So I do think that my pick is Encanto.
mhm.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
But who you
the
think is
Mitchells
gonna
and the
win?
Machines is, although I watched it and it's funny,
Comedy.
it is comedy.
And you're not gonna
It's-
rep it.
It is my boys.
Live
Phil
long
Lord.
enough to see yourself become the villain.
It is my boys Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Oh wow, what a traitor you are.
Damn,
Exactly.
What about Kurt Albrecht, bro?
They won the Annie. It won the Annie for best animated picture.
Okay.
So
You think they're gonna win it?
I think they might win it.
What?
No
That
way.
movie
I
is
wish I
not
would be
that strong.
I would be
that's the thing.
shocked.
Netflix money, baby.
I don't think it's that strong either.
I don't
It's
think
the weakest one in this
so.
category
I
to
think
me.
it's
I
the
think
weakest
Raya,
one.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
It's better
Is excellent.
than Mitchell's.
Lucas.
What were you saying,
That's
like,
why-
finish?
Sorry.
No, I agree with you. But there's a heavy push, and then here again, studios
Mhm.
pushing my boys, pushing for the
Your boys are the ones pushing.
What? Who's pushing?
pushing like Phil
Pushing.
Lord, Chris Miller, the producers. They're pushing for this to win. Do I think it's gonna win? I think Encanto might win.
Gonna.
Uh,
If Encanto
Man.
loses to
I
the
hope
Mitchells
I hope
versus the
Encanto
Machine,
wins.
we riot.
There
We
will
riot,
not be an Oscar
and-
episode next year.
Yeah.
No, it won't.
We won't watch the Oscars. We won't
Yes.
talk about Oscars.
we'll do what Pablo Escobar did to that other
Okay.
guy.
Okay, this
Sorry?
is not an official threat.
Yeah, this show does not
Nobody
endorse
here
the actions
belongs
of
to the
Pablo
cartel.
Escobar. Okay. Really quick, and we will have a chance to talk about this movie. Flea, nominated in 3 categories.
Oh yes.
Animated, documentary,
Yes.
and best feature. Correct? Wow, what a transcendental film.
It was an amazing film.
Genre breaking.
Yeah,
But I-
dude. I was watching it and I'm like, what
How-
am I watching right
Yes,
now? How is
and-
it nominated in all these categories?
Right. However, I don't think it should win this specific category. Because
foreign film,
because when I first watched the movie, the first thing that came to my mind, oh, this is a documentary,
Right.
right? Even though it is animated, I think it would fit better in that category.
Yeah. Innovative use of animation.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I don't think
I
that.
But
think-
it's not an. I don't know.
I love
I
it.
don't know.
I love the fact that it's here.
Yeah.
I think Flea. I think the one that can win is best documentary.
Right.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And Canto is my pick. Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
Cinematography, really quick. Dune, Nightmare Alley, Power of the Dog, Tragedy of Macbeth, West Side Story. We've talked about most of these already.
Mhm.
Dune being and Nightmare Alley being new to the conversation. Who was your standout here in cinematography?
See, this is one of the categories here that whoever wins, all right, this
It
like,
deserves it, right?
This
It-
deserves it.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah.
I think the cinematography is more
I mean, all these
Technical?
movies look beautiful.
technical.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's less subjective. It's more like okay,
Yes.
like, and that's why like there was that stretch in the 2000s where like Emmanuel Suzinski won 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
The guy's just so good,
Yeah.
and it's the fact that what I love about this category here is that there are people that haven't won it.
Mm.
Right.
So I think it's the fact that they're new. Like, oh man, up and coming people.
Yeah. And these are the unsung heroes, the people that don't
Yeah.
get like the fame and many times not the
Right.
fortune of the filmmaking, but they're like the backbone of filmmaking. And I love that you said that this category is like more technical, or rather I said that and you agreed. But I feel like I'm not even worthy of like
I'm not being
judging.
worthy of judging.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
why
I can give you an idea based on what I kind of know about
Yeah.
cinematography, but it's such a technical
Yeah.
aspect that I'm like, oh, I'm going to leave it up to the pros, bro. These people know. who
Yeah,
the best
I do gotta
cinematographers.
say though, all these movies they look beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
They are, man. They're beautiful films, like to the eye.
Yeah. My pick
Yeah.
here is Dune because I
Mhm.
thought the cinematography was beautiful and I wanted to win somewhere.
Right.
And I think this is where it gets its best shot.
I hope it wins.
Yeah.
I do
Mhm.
think that
Who's the
Um,
favorite here?
I think
What's
the
it?
tragedy of
Right, really?
Macbeth
Ooh,
might
I think that one's great.
It's great. It's
I think
amazing.
that meant like as much as I love Dune, like those
That-
those,
yeah.
are, those are 1 and 2 for me. You can
Really, for me,
interchange
it's a
them.
West Side Story.
That too, man. The way that
When
those
I was
musicals
when I
were
was
shot.
watching the movie and I'm thinking to myself, this is a period piece movie.
Yeah.
Right? And it feels like it was filmed back in that early 50s or mid 50s,
Right.
but yet it looks beautiful.
It feels classic,
See,
but
but
bright
modern.
as today. Yeah.
Yes.
Like
I don't know. I don't honestly, like you say,
That's
I'm
tough.
not an expert.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Power of the
but-
Dog is amazingly shot too.
Yes,
It's
it's
beautiful.
beautifully shot.
I
And I
want to
think-
retract the statement. I said everyone here hasn't won, but the guy that did West Side Story has won twice.
So let's give it to him again.
So
Let's
might as
repeat.
well.
Well, there is a reason why he has
I
won.
think my
it
favorite is gonna
twice.
be is Greg Fraser, man. That guy is a beast.
Who is he?
Baby,
Oh,
yeah, he-
Greg,
Dune?
Who's
Greg
talking?
Fraser did Dune, Zero Dark 30, Lion, Rogue
Mm.
One,
Loved Ryan.
and The Batman.
Oh, he did Rogue One and the Batman.
I do gotta
Give
say
this
something
guy the
about
And a
award.
couple
Dune,
episodes
though.
of The Mandalorian.
Give
Like,
it to this guy.
I didn't read the books, but visually it was stunning, and he created a world from scratch.
Yeah.
And that those have merit.
That's super funny.
You
And
know?
when we talk about when we're, searching for those driving forces in our life,
Right.
that's super funny, Gabriel, that you can just like rattle off Dune, The Batman, Mandalorian,
Mhm.
what was the other strong? Oh, Rogue One. These are defining films and shows in my life. This man is shaping my perspective.
No, yeah.
I don't even know who he is.
Right.
literally, like,
right. It's so
I mean,
true.
because I've heard the name like around, but I wasn't like familiar with what he did. I think until the Batman, and then everyone was just like, "This guy does another one," and I think especially like with Rogue One, I watched Rogue One with no expectations, and I love that film. But when I watched it, I was just like,
Crying.
"This must have been like what people must have seen like in '77."
Absolutely.
Like with The New Hope, like when they watched it for the first time, this is what it must have felt like.
and can you believe it didn't win Best Picture? I'm just kidding.
Gabriel was crying. I was there.
I was in
have
tears.
video of
Oh,
Gabriel
Gabriel.
crying.
I feel like I tear up every time I watch the movie at the end.
I have students telling me that they were on the floor of the theater that night, just like weeping.
If there
because
wasn't
all of
popcorn
it.
and candy everywhere, I
No,
probably
they
would've
were
been too.
covered in popcorn and candy. They obviously they don't have
I
the
w-
same.
I hope Greg Fraser wins then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd pick as Greg Fraser.
Yeah,
Plus, I love his
mean,
show.
Really quick costume design. This is where some movies get to shine that they don't in other categories. Cruella, Cyrano, Dune, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story. One of the few categories that Cyrano is nominated for, and that movie was beautiful.
It really was.
I think it got gypped.
I think it
Yeah,
came
me
late.
too.
I think it came late in the development. I'm almost certain most people didn't.
It was
the
better
Academy
than
didn't.
than
Weren't able to watch this
other
movie.
movies that are there. Right
I watched it
now,
like 3
which
days
I guess
ago.
We'll talk about
Yeah.
it later.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then yeah, I think Serrano was better than
Do
some
we?
of the Best Picture.
Do we talk about it later?
No, better than some of the Best Picture
No,
nominees.
yeah.
Is what he's saying. Yeah.
Like in my opinion, there's some, films that.
Oh,
Whatever.
like what I'll replace it with, then I'll talk about it then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So my pick here is Dune.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But I also know that a movie like Cruella probably
Really?
has like a lot of these awards tend to go to like films that like define, and I think the fashion just defines Cruella. I think without the fashion, that movie doesn't.
Wait, the House of Gucci was not nominated.
No, it
How
was not.
dare they nominate?
the
Okay,
hair-
that
the-
movie was terrible.
The hair and
I
makeup.
didn't know you talking. That movie's amazing.
No, no.
Yeah, I unfortunately had to watch that for this Oscar viewing, and I wish I could erase it from my memory.
See, that's,
Okay, it
that's
was
the
not-
comedy.
No.
Yep, that is a comedy. That actually is a comedy.
I love House of Gucci.
And there you go, and it got
Yes.
nominated best
It's
hair
a
and makeup.
comedy.
But,
For real?
but
I'm pretty
but
sure
Jared
that
Leto
Gucci.
did not get nominated for best supporting
I'm
actor.
pretty sure the Gucci family did not appreciate their tragedy being a comedy.
Yeah, but very
Doesn't
clearly
matter,
that
they're
movie is a
dead.
joke, though,
They're
right?
dead.
So-
Does not
they're
matter.
not all dead.
They're
The
not-
girls are alive.
It's
The
only him.
daughters.
He's the only one
He's
who's
the
dead.
only one who's dead.
Jared Leto's character is also dead.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So there you go. 100% of Gucci.
She's still in
dead.
prison, right?
Do we know who the favorite here is?
I know. I think she's out.
Who won the BAFTA? She's out of prison?
I think she's out already.
Patricia, come on.
Patricia.
It's been on. I mean, this
Patricia.
happened in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Patricia, if you're listening
I
to this,
think so.
I was on your side.
Spoilers,
The whole
he
time.
dies in House of Gucci. That's just a real life story.
She
That's
is
literally what the
released.
movie's
Yeah,
about.
she's released.
You know, this is
yeah.
really quick.
Yeah.
One of the things I enjoyed about House of Gucci was how, at first, innocent and pure Adam Driver's character is.
Right.
Like that scene where he's playing,
And then he
he's at
becomes
work.
a complete jerk.
That scene in the movie where he's like watering the car and then he starts splashing his coworker. That's like the best part of the movie.
I'm glad that out of 40 movies, one of the few movies Link watched was House of Gucci.
I mean, I watched it with Gabriel just because I wanted to count how many times they said Gucci, and we lost track.
I think it was a more enjoyable experience with Link.
Yeah.
I think that like we were just cracking jokes throughout of it, but as a serious film,
It took me 3
It
days
really
to get
was
through that
not.
movie.
No, it did. It took us 3 days.
Also, how disappointing is it that Stanley
movie's so
Tucci wasn't in House of Gucci?
Exactly.
That was a
What-
travesty.
This
You-
is
your whole line could have been Stucci is Gucci.
Stucci. I'm really surprised I got irons, but
What-
I guess
yeah.
with the director connection.
No, yeah, I mean, the cast is amazing.
What a great cast.
Just the
Yeah.
I don't know. Costume design, what was your pick? I said Dune. You guys?
We go West Side Story.
I think West Side Story
West
or
Side-
or Serrano.
Serrano's amazing.
I don't know.
I think I'll
And-
say Serrano.
And the fact that it was nominated specifically just for this category.
I think I'll say Serrano.
What about you?
I love Cruella.
Is Serrano like?
Cruella.
I mean, every single thing that she wore, everything.
Serrano de
I don't know.
Bergerac.
I don't
It's
know.
a
I
play.
think it's great.
Is it like the third installment of Sicario?
No, absolutely not.
That's what it sounds like to me.
All right, we're getting to these
Yeah.
heavy categories now.
Mhm.
Documentary, All right. No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Directing.
directing.
I'm sorry. Directing. We have Kenneth Branagh for Belfast.
Mm-hmm.
Ryusuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car. Paul- Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to do that. Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza. Jane. I'm sorry. Yeah, Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog, and Steven Spielberg for West Side Story.
Is he new?
Yeah, he's a brand new up and coming
Oh, man,
director.
I love Spielberg.
You might know him from his previous work, E.T. the Ride.
He did that?
Yeah, and George Lucas.
Give him the Oscar, bro.
Yeah.
What's your pick here?
Kenneth Branagh, Belfast.
It's between Branagh and Hamaguchi.
I do hear though that the director of The Power of the Dog is also getting a lot of
Yeah,
noise
he's
because
the-
she's a
I think
woman,
she'll win.
I
I
think-
think she'll win.
You know what?
Yeah.
She might
She's
win
already won
because
before.
of
I
that.
I think
yeah.
she's the favorite.
and I hope she does.
You know, I heard a lot of scuttlebutt and talk about her being the favorite.
What?
Yeah.
It's what scuttlebutt means?
Yeah.
Just like talk back talk. Like,
Okay.
Oh, it's
Oh,
not an
okay.
animal. A bug you catch an animal.
It's like a
crossing?
Pokemon.
I heard about Campion Power of the Dog, Campion's Power of the Dog.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was Jane. That's why I paused there when I read. I was
Yeah.
like, is his name Jane? Oh, no, it is Jane. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize it was a female director. That movie is so strong and so powerful and just sits on its
So
own merit.
masculine.
Yeah. Has Campion worked on anything before this?
Yeah, she won an Oscar.
For?
Oh, really?
She's like the only woman I think to get
An Oscar
nominated twice.
for directing?
Yeah, The Piano.
Oh, no way.
Okay.
Whoa,
Well-deserved.
that is such a long time ago.
But she's a great
Yeah, that movie's
director.
amazing.
Yeah.
The Piano's great. That's one of those movies I would have never seen if it
Mhm.
hadn't won. Because I only know about it because it won.
Yeah.
And thank you, Academy.
I think the only other one that I've heard is
I simp
The
for the
Portrait
Academy.
of a Lady.
You and the two people that watched the Academy Award that day.
Yeah, I simp for the Academy more than Serrano simps for Roxanne.
Yeah, I texted George after I saw the movie. I was like, Serrano was great, but Serrano is the world's biggest simp.
And I was offended because I'm familiar with the play,
Hmm.
and then I watched it and I was like, no, yeah, he's right. Yeah, this poor guy is hopeless.
How about the guy from Drive My Car? That movie.
The director?
The director.
Yeah, he's my
Yeah.
my pick. I think. Along
I think
with,
my
with
pick
Branagh.
is I think my pick is Belfast, West Side Story. I would give it to Belfast though.
Man, but Spielberg
Spielberg's
is a
amazing.
master, man.
Yeah, he's a master.
You know, because here's the thing. I went into that movie. I was like, it's a remake.
Right.
Like, it's gonna be great because it's Spielberg, but like, it's just gonna be West Side Story. No way, bro. He instantly supplanted the original,
Yep.
where it's like, don't even go back.
It's an instant classic.
And it's almost offensive
It
for me
really
to say
is.
that, but it's
Yeah.
no. This is the definitive West Side
yeah.
Story.
Yeah. He Spielberg. He's a master. He
Yeah.
he knows. I love Belfast. I love the choices that Branagh did during this movie. I love that it's black and white. I love the way how it's edited. The choices from the way how he decided to shoot the movie.
Yeah.
It's so intimate, but it feels a little bit bigger than what is happening. I
Cheerios.
It's like an intimate film with
Right.
that has money behind it.
right.
Yes.
Yes.
It feels like right. It feels like an indie movie.
It-
right,
it has
but
money
it's
behind it,
big,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah. You have
It,
Kenneth
it
Branagh.
has Hollywood scope with like
Right.
independent heart.
Yeah.
Yes, and I
That's what I
think
like
he did
about
a
it.
beautiful job. I'd not creating. That's not the word that I'm looking for.
Producing,
No.
directing,
Bringing to life.
Yeah, like reliving.
manifesting.
Yes.
Right, because that's what I felt like. Like I felt
Yeah,
like
you're
I was
immersed. You're immersed back in the
right. Yeah, like reliving those
He rebuilt a
days,
world that existed.
rested. Yes, and it was so well directed,
Yeah.
so well done. And at the same time, like following this family, it felt like anybody's family.
Yeah.
You know, and it was shot beautifully, so intimately. It was great. I really liked it.
Also, Paul Thomas Anderson directed Licorice Pizza, whatever. Moving on to documentary feature film.
Paul
PT
Anthony. What is it?
P.T. Anderson.
P.T. Anderson. We love your wife.
I love his films. I'm a big P.T. Anderson. I don't know what that means.
Who
but
is his wife?
Maya Rudolph.
Who is Maya Rudolph?
We love Maya Rudolph.
I love Maya Rudolph.
Who's Maya
I
Rudolph?
mean, she's great, but
I love Maya
love
Rudolph.
is a strong word.
Is she an actress?
Maya
Yeah.
Rudolph.
You know
is,
who it is.
Yeah, she's from Saturday Night Live.
you see her
She's the
face.
judge in the Good Life.
Oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, she's wonderful.
Oh, she was in Licorice Pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, you don't remember the movie because
See, if there was
Yeah, I watched the movie for 3 days and I don't remember her being in it.
I don't remember her.
she was
Go
in,
ahead.
if there were a category for comedy, Bridesmaids would
This
have
is
won
the
that
Golden
year.
Globes.
But it was nominated.
Yeah, but this
Someone
bridesmaid,
was nominated.
this bridesmaid
Right?
pushed
From Bridesmaids?
filmmaking the
Yeah.
same way.
When it comes to comedy, it does.
Okay. Anyways.
Documentary,
Because it was all woman team.
Mhm.
documentary feature film, and full disclosure, this is the category that I slept on more.
Yeah, I'm
So,
sorry, guys.
Ascension was the first one I saw. That was interesting. I did not see Attica. I know you did, Gabriel. We did not. We saw Flea, which was amazing. Summer of Souls, the next movie I'm watching, and
So good.
Riding with Fire, unfortunately, is not available until 2 days after the Oscars, I believe. Which
Even
is
with
a
the
travesty.
VPN, man, like
Yeah, there's nowhere to stream this around the world. You cannot buy it. You cannot rent it. And no one has picked it up, at least in our area,
Yeah.
to screen in theaters.
I do
So-
not feel that I have enough information. To talk about
Well,
this
from you saw
category.
you saw two of them only.
Yeah.
Between Ascension and Flea, what did you think?
I
What do you
think-
think of Ascension? Okay, so for those that aren't aware,
It was a high climb.
It was an interesting.
Ascension was a look at the Chinese dream, kind of like the American dream, but like
Right.
how capitalism manifests itself in the lower middle and upper class
Oh,
of Chinese
I've heard of that.
population.
Yes.
That's so yes.
It was good.
That's very interesting.
It was
it's
interesting.
an interesting topic to
Yeah.
cover, but
It was about a half hour too long for me.
Right? Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
They use a lot of imagery through that whole entire film.
It's a fly on the wall. There's no
Right.
narration. There's no
sometimes
context.
it's just quiet. Sometimes you're just observing, people working in a factory or in an office or in like the service industry. And
It's a mixed bag for me.
it's hard to
Yeah.
relate to.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Sometimes.
which I mean, maybe that's the point, like to get a
Yeah.
different perspective.
Yes.
But I think in some instances when the divide is so great,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of need a little bit of guidance and to where this is trying to lead me to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it wasn't really like that.
And I've seen this approach when we talked about in January's S4 Monthly, I believe, when we talked about going to Sundance digitally
Yeah.
and when the VR chat documentary that we saw, this new style of just allowing the footage to speak for itself
Yes.
and not really guiding the story.
I don't think it works all the
Do
time.
not like that.
I guess it's a new form, but I have to like warm up to it because I feel like I need the story to be guided.
But I think sometimes it did work in the film. I think there were
Sometimes it breeds, and sometimes
Right.
I'm like, is this
right,
important?
and sometimes I'm like, why did the director decide to leave this here
Yeah.
at this moment?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not getting much from it. But it was interesting to see. It was different.
How was
I don't-
Attica?
Okay.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
How was Attica?
I had no idea about Attica. It was about the prison in Attica, New York,
Mhm.
and how the prisoners took over. The
Yeah.
prisoners
Mhm.
took over the
Sounds like a Batman movie.
the prison.
This is a
And
this
they were
is
trying to like free themselves.
No, they were the town Attica. It's a very neighborhood.
Mhm.
It's a very close knit community.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that work there, a lot of the males that work there are guards or work for the prison system there. It's a prison town or however
So
they
the
call it.
prison is like the center
what
of the
sustains-
community.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so what the prisoners were complaining about was that they were being mistreated.
right.
They weren't getting good medical attention whenever they got hurt. The guards were terrible with them, and it was amid a bunch of social injustices that were happening.
Mhm.
And there were things like, I think there was like a prisoner in another prison that was very vocal. A lot of people, like, he was like a hero to them.
Yeah.
And I believe he was murdered,
Mhm.
or he got beaten to death, I think is what it was.
That's still murder.
Yeah.
Qualifies as murder.
And so he
Have you ever seen Dog Day Afternoon?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know how they chant Attica
Yeah.
at the end. That's why I read a lot on Attica, and that's why this was like late in my list and I didn't get to it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I had no idea about the story, but it definitely informed me and was a pretty moving piece in my opinion.
Yeah, I've heard great things.
Yeah.
Do we know who the favorite for this category is?
Probably Flea.
Probably Flea nominated in 3
Yeah,
different categories.
Yeah.
Which
I
I
hope
think
it
is
does.
my pick.
I think Flea's my pick too. Summer of Soul also didn't get a chance to see it. Like I said, it's the next one I'm gonna watch. How was Summer of Soul, Gabe?
Summer of Soul was also fantastic. It's very strong, and I think a lot of these were in the same, like, take place around the same time.
Yeah.
I believe Attica's in the 70s, 71.
Yeah.
Summer of Soul was in 69, if I'm not mistaken. But it wasn't. It's about this basically what they call it, the Black Woodstock.
Yeah.
And this music festival that really didn't get covered or wasn't like public.
Like the footage wasn't even distributed.
Yeah, it was just sitting in
this.
a basement for who knows how many years.
Much like Amazing Grace, which is a documentary of Aretha Franklin at the church recording that album a couple years ago. That came out. That was an amazing documentary. One thing that I love about documentaries is they're cheap, as opposed to like, big Hollywood blockbusters. Cheap to produce, cheap to distribute. So these movies used to be hard to find, but one thing that we talked about, the easy accessibility, Ascension was on Amazon Prime. I'm sorry, was on Paramount Plus. Attica was on Amazon Prime. Flea was on Hulu, and Summer of Soul was on Disney Plus and Hulu. So like these movies they usually don't get picked up at a movie theater, so you don't get to watch them. But now they're delivered straight to you, and we have this category accessible, except for Writing with Fire. Whoever does the distribution for that movie, they drop the ball.
Step it up.
Yeah. So a great category, super strong. Documentary, short subject. We'll go through short subject real quick. We saw this all at one sitting. This is like one
We
movie.
could have used shortly.
Okay. So, and actually, if you're looking to watch these, I believe this Tuesday, they all come out on Amazon Prime. You can just buy or rent all of them and watch them now. We saw them in theaters because they had a special screening. Oh no, I'm sorry, not for documentary. It's for animated and for live action. Yeah. These documentary shorts are already picked up. They're at home already.
They're Netflix or YouTube.
Yeah, so Audible's on Netflix. Lead Me Home's on Netflix. The Queen of Basketball is on YouTube. 3 Songs for Benazir's on Netflix, and When We Were Bullies is also not available until 2 days after the
second
Oscars.
title that I didn't watch.
Yeah. So out of the ones that are available, Netflix has most of these. What's your pick?
Lead Me Home.
Lead Me Home.
Lead Me Home. Like I was in tears after I watched that, man. It was 20 minutes, but it was so moving and powerful. Or
no,
40?
I think that one's 40 minutes.
40?
Yeah. But see, that's the perfect length, I think, for these short documentaries.
Yeah. I think, man, I don't know. I just felt I was very moved when I watched that one. Audible was also fantastic.
Audible was very strong.
Which is probably my second pick.
About the deaf football team.
Yeah, which I thought was insane. That story was crazy.
Sounds adorable.
It's great. You should watch it.
It was really good. Lead Me Home is about homelessness in major cities here in the U.S. I think everyone should watch it.
Yeah,
definitely.
As a matter of fact,
especially you, Jeff Bezos.
I'm always looking for things that I could show in my classroom.
Jeff Bezos, not a fan of the show.
I think this is one of the short films.
Absolutely.
That anybody could watch.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the opportunity and the platform to like be able to explore this issue, Leave Me Home is really strong. So I highly recommend. And for me, it's also the win.
The Queen of Basketball was really good. It's like 20 minutes, even less. So it's worth checking out. It was pretty straightforward. It was like a typical like YouTube doc. I'm not really sure how it got so much play to get up to this category, but it's a really great, inspiring story, and it was positive.
Let me tell you, lobbying.
I think it was, I don't remember. Do you remember who published that?
No.
Was it the Washington Post? I don't remember. Yeah. Okay. 3 Songs for Benazir. It didn't hit with me as hard, but it's still really good. It's super short. Again, less than like 20 minutes. And we'll see how we feel about When We Were Bullies after the Oscars. Film editing. We got Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard, The Power of the Dog, and Tick, Tick, Boom.
Dune.
I personally don't know much about how to critique this category.
How do you? Like,
yeah.
No, but
like pacing of the film?
Right,
it's not even pacing because it's also you're doing everything. You're essentially the director of the movie.
Yeah.
Right. Well. So that's like I don't even know how to.
Editing is like art. I don't know editing, but I know when I like it.
Right.
Is that weird? Like I know when it's wrong, and I know when it's well done. Yeah.
I do gotta say though, Dune for me.
I agree. Dune.
It seems like a very complicated movie to edit because there's
It's wild. The
so
source material
many
is
moving parts,
Huge.
And there's
so
so
much
much content.
story, so much content, and
And as long
whoever-
as it is, I'm pretty
who
sure.
did it? What's his name?
So much sand.
Joe Walker did a fantastic job
Yeah.
because I felt like the story was cohesive, like there was no plot holes, like it was very good.
And as long as it is, I'm sure that there's much more footage that was
Oh,
shot
for sure.
Yeah.
that had to
Right,
be left behind.
right.
So that's
It's like a
So-
5-hour cut somewhere.
So definitely for me, it was Dune out of all of these categories. I mean, or
If-
so we all got Doom.
If
Yeah.
it helps,
Right.
I don't even think the Academy themselves know much about editing because they picked Queen, and apparently, like people in the editing community said this movie's terrible. Right.
I didn't think
Who?
I didn't think Bohemian
Queen?
Rhapsody
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody
was
Oh.
was very good for anything.
Yeah.
What year was that?
But yeah, that one won editing.
2019?
That one won
I
editing.
remember-
and people were like complaining about it.
I remember
because,
losing.
because it didn't deserve.
Editing
Yeah,
wise, editing
I didn't
wise.
deserve anything. It didn't deserve what Best Picture nom?
Yeah, but that's fine.
Did it win Best Picture?
No, but it didn't deserve to be
No,
nominated.
Rami Malek won though.
Oh, but
Oh,
he was
great.
great.
That was in
great.
2019.
He was
that
really
was
good.
18? 18?
Yeah.
I remember in 18,
Yeah.
19, I started losing a little bit of my faith. And then in 2020, I didn't watch the Oscars at all because I didn't watch any of the Oscar nominated movies. I didn't even know where to get them. I was in a deep depression in the middle of COVID. So I'm back for it, trying to get my life back. And my love for the Oscars is something that I'm
All
trying to
right,
make work.
international feature film.
I'm trying to kill that love.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm.
International feature film, which I believe in the past was named foreign film, foreign language film. It's an international feature film. This is
Okay.
our politically correct way of saying it, which is an improvement. Drive My Car, Flee, The Hand of God, Lunana, The Worst Person in the World.
Personally, I think this is my favorite category
Yeah,
out of all of them.
because
How come?
I loved it. I think
All movies?
every film, I loved it. I loved
Mm.
all of them.
Okay.
And picking one out of this, Drive My Car and Lunana, I think are my top two. The Hand of God, I
Absolutely.
think when I watched it was like, this is my pick.
Right.
But then I watched Drive My Car and Lunana were the last two films that I saw, and they were the standouts for me.
Yeah.
Worst Person was also great.
Oh, I watched that one.
Mhm.
yes, you did.
But I think that those two are standouts for me, and I'm really trying to figure out which one I think I would put over the other.
I'm gonna go with worst person in the world.
What did you like about that movie?
They had Scandinavian Adam Driver.
Okay, that's
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the fact that
I
when we
think
watched
I
when we
think-
watched it, like because I went with Gabriel and another friend.
Yeah.
When we watched it, we all thought the same thing.
really
But Adam
But, like, we didn't
Driver
say it.
is
more
He's-
charismatic, less
yeah,
handsome.
He's handsome.
No, Adam Driver's more handsome. No, this guy's more handsome.
No,
than Adam.
no way.
Adam Driver is not traditionally handsome. He's just charismatically handsome.
Who do you think we're referring to when we're talking about Adam Driver?
Kylo Ren?
Yeah, you know, but in this movie, who do you think we're
Oh,
calling?
the,
the main love
she
interest?
the boyfriend that
Oh,
the
the-
guy that she leave.
Whoa, spoilers.
Oh,
The
sorry.
second.
The second guy.
love-
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
no.
Oh
That's-
no! He's-
Adam Driver is so much better looking.
That's
No,
Scandinavian Adam Driver.
No, Adam Driver's better
Okay.
looking than
No,
that.
I like-
we're not saying he's better looking, but he reminded us.
Well,
Yeah,
I
he
like
reminded us.
American Adam Driver.
Oh, I love American Adam Driver.
Yeah,
too.
Americano.
His
Gucci.
I love Adam.
Yes.
I love Adam Driver playing with water.
Lunana's my pick.
Lunana was such a beautiful
Such a
film.
beautiful- everyone
I
go watch it.
recommend it.
Listen, go on Amazon
go
Prime right
watch
now.
it,
Rent or
yes.
buy.
Did
all
you
right?
buy it? Do you buy it?
I did buy it.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
perfect. Thank
So
you.
it's there you
So
go.
It was.
I'm not about that rent life. All
Yeah,
right,
we're
I'm gonna
not-
buy it and I'm gonna share it. With
We're
it.
not peasants.
Yeah.
I
Let me
watched-
tell you,
What-
after I watched Lunana, I was just like, yes, my purpose in life. I got
Luna-
it.
And
you
I think
know?
it hits YouTube specifically, right, for your
yes.
profession,
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
careers.
Odd.
Yeah,
It inspired me as a teacher
Mhm.
to be like, man, what we make, like, it makes a real difference. What we do makes a real difference.
Mhm.
But then the inverse too, where like, man, we complain, but I am not making a chalkboard out of yak dung. All right, like I have it easy
Spoilers.
here in the classroom. You know what I
Yes.
mean? The kind of obstacles for education, and to know that those kids like strive. I also want those kids. I want those kids in my classroom. The ones that are like waiting
Pemzam,
for me to get out of bed, right? So I
Yeah.
that
can,
little, oh my little girl was adorable.
yeah.
No, and I think that beyond the classroom
Good
and
job
beyond
burying your
that
students.
that experience of education
They
as
know.
an educator, It's also that we're constantly dreaming about, oh, it's always greener in the other side.
Yeah.
You know, it's always better when we move and go to the step, and we forget to appreciate that now where we are at, the difference that we're making on people's lives. And I think that's what I got from Lunana. It was such a like, man, you're right. We worry so much about where we want to be
Yeah.
than where we are at.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, and I think for me that was like, man, like, yes, I'm gonna stop complaining.
Yeah, because even in my
and
life,
enjoy my now.
yeah, because in my
Yeah.
life, I feel like, and like
Right.
you said, putting the teaching aside, just wherever you
Right.
are in life, in your career, whatever you
Right.
do, you feel like you're in Lunana and
Yeah.
you're yearning for Australia, whatever
Right.
your Australia is, and it's
Right.
like the difference you can make right where you are right now.
Yes, and I think that that was a beautiful film. It did it so well, and for me, that's my pick.
No, I love that film, and I think that
Yeah,
I think the international films especially just give you a perspective that we're not used to.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
and especially
Yes.
just like and I think that's one of the big things for me with House of Gucci
Yeah.
Mm.
is that these are just a lot of them are like people that are not like necessarily native to Italy.
Right.
They're not immersed in the culture.
They're
Right,
speaking
right.
in Italian
yeah,
accents.
yeah.
It's kind of just like, is this really a joke?
Right.
And the language part of it, the fact that like everything has to be in English.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
and just I think the director of Parasite had mentioned that once you get over that 1-inch like barrier, like you open yourself to a whole new world of films.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just like this for me was like probably the most artistic pieces of the Oscars in general for me.
I agree.
West Side Story did that a little bit too with empowering the Spanish language, not
Mhm.
No subtitles, yeah.
it, and
Mhm.
putting it on equal footing with the English in that language. It was one of the most like proactive films for us Hispanics by a Jewish director.
Even
Right.
even
Oh
this
yes, look at us being represented by Jews.
even the story with Flea, like his
Yeah.
his story about how he left.
Mhm.
Where was it that he left?
He left Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, and like his story is incredible, but also the medium that they used to
Mhm.
portray that and how they did it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
A film
yeah.
from Denmark about the Afghan journey.
Mhm.
Like it's such a universal
Right.
experience. Through a
Right.
medium that you don't expect that
Right.
story to be told.
Yeah.
My
Hand
pick-
of God is another. Oh, man.
My pick is the worst person in the world
Uh-huh.
because after watching Midsummer, I told myself I'm never going to Scandinavia. But then I watched this way, and I'm like, watch the worst person in the world. Now I'm like, oh, you know what? I like Norway. It's a very walkable city. I think I want to live there.
Is Drive My Car the favorite here? Because since it's
think so.
nominated for Best Picture, right?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
John Carson.
It'll win this one, but it won't win Best Picture.
Yeah,
Oh man,
I
that
think
makes me
so.
sad because Lunana is so. Guys, go
Lunana-
watch
Lunana's
Lunana.
great.
Yeah.
Go watch.
Go
Um,
watch it.
It just makes sense though. If you're nominated for Best Picture, you should
Yeah.
win the
Yeah,
category.
of course. I
Hand of
agree.
God, I actually really enjoyed. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but
I have
We
not
did
seen
not.
it.
That's the next one.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
What's it
Yeah.
about?
Is it?
Didn't
Would you
get
say
it.
it's positive, hopeful, or is it?
It's
kind
a
of
coming of age story. I think there's some downer moments for sure.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think it's like hopeless.
Okay.
It's just about this young man who suffers through tragedy. Around the same time, he lives in Naples around the 80s, around
Right.
the time that one of the biggest soccer players of all time, one of my favorites, Diego Maradona,
Yeah.
made a shock move to Napoli, the team there, and the Italians and especially in that country go
That's why
crazy.
it's called the Hand of God.
They go crazy for football, for soccer in
Yeah.
that region, and so like throughout the whole movie, it's like, is he gonna come? Is he gonna transfer? Is he gonna? The people like the old people were like the older people were like, he's not coming. Don't ever believe it. And even one person goes so far as to say, like, I think it's his grandfather. He's like, if Diego Maradona does not come, I will kill myself. And then the kid's just like, but I mean that's how
Yeah.
serious they take it.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's like a theme.
Oh,
that,
we know we're Colombian. We understand that.
Yeah.
Football is life and death.
so that
Yes.
comes so that comes in throughout the film, but I think it is a powerful story about a young man who suffers through tragedy and doesn't know what he wants to do or where he wants to be or like what direction he's trying to like finding answers.
Is he a teenager?
Yeah.
Is he Italian
Um,
Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah. I think there's some parts that it's like, oh, this is an artistic choice, but I think as a whole I really enjoyed it.
I have a question. The Netflix blurb says his life is saved by Diego Maradona. Is that not literal? Is that just figurative?
It's figurative.
Oh, okay.
okay.
I imagine him about to be hit by a train and then Diego Maradona.
Oh. No, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it
Okay,
is.
so it really did
Okay, so
happen.
it's-
It is
it's
literal.
Oh, okay.
In this, like, it's not in the sense that you would think. Not
Okay.
like Diego
Right,
Maradona
right.
literally saves his
Okay.
life, but
Got it.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Really quick, makeup and hairstyle. Coming to America, Cruella, Dune, Eyes of Tammy Faye, House of Gucci.
My pick is House of Gucci. They
Wow.
were able to transform Jared Leto into an authentic
You're right.
Italian man.
I don't know about authentic, but it definitely did not look like
This
himself.
movie
I
was
heard
more-
criticism
this-
about this, and I thought it was really
I
good.
thought it was
Like the
good.
makeup.
The
The
too.
makeup
was
and
good.
hairstyle is more authentic than the Hand of God. Makes the movie more Italian than Hand of God.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't.
that's not true.
I don't know.
Link
I don't
knows
know.
that's not true.
I didn't see Coming to America, so I don't know. Like
It was really good.
at
That makeup and
The
hairstyle.
makeup and hairstyle was
Oh,
really good.
really?
but I guess for me, the Eyes of Tammy Faye.
I'm between
mean,
Cruella and
Jessica-
the Eyes of Tammy
Yeah,
Faye.
Jessica looked so good.
Yeah.
As impersonating Tammy Faye. I think that's gonna be my.
Yeah,
pick.
one of those two.
Yeah.
Coming to
I'm
America
not
as
sure.
a Tammy Faye.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm between Cruella and the Eyes of Tammy Faye. Music, original score, Don't Look Up, which I don't even remember.
Wait, why is that nominated?
Ariana Grande, bro.
I really don't know.
Oh, that is probably.
that
one-
is.
Does that
it?
count as score? I don't think so, though.
No, it's
Yeah.
Nicholas.
No.
I don't know, but it's not an original song.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Okay, Don't Look Up, Dune, Encanto, Parallel Mothers, which is another interesting choice. Parallel
The
Mothers.
power of that
And
was.
I feel like it was just they just got like they had music for the they had a score.
License-free music.
Yeah.
right? I feel like they just hired a guy on Fiverr and paid him $50. Oh, wait, no, that was someone else.
It's another show.
The Power of the Dog.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Power of
That
the
was
Dog score was
fantastic.
great. I want to say Encanto.
I want to say. I
love
mean,
Dune.
I want to say
Dune.
Dune.
I was gonna say Dune.
Yeah,
I
I
think
love
the
it.
score
I
in
love
Dune.
Dune.
was epic.
All right, Hans Zimmer. Here's another one for you.
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
whatever.
What else did he do before?
Everything.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Schindler's List.
Okay.
The Dark Knight.
Oh, okay. So he's pretty iconic.
Is he Pirates of the Caribbean?
Pirates
Yeah.
of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Dune for me takes.
The
It was great.
Lion King.
Yeah, for me takes the win.
Music original song, Be Alive from King Richard. And you know what? It's funny because before I go through these titles, it's way different. They hit different when you watch the movie.
Oh yeah, for
and they
sure.
use the song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I did like a playlist before I saw any of the movies. I was like, oh, this, and that. And then like you end up like loving all of them in the context of the film.
Right.
Be Alive from King Richard by Beyonce. Dos Uruguitas from Encanto by Lin-Manuel Miranda, performed by
Sebastian Yatras.
Down to Joy from Belfast by Van Morrison. No Time to Die by my girl, Billie Eilish. Somehow You Do from Four Good Days, a movie that none of us watched because it's on Hulu and has not good reviews. I think it's performed by, who performs the song?
No idea.
It's a country
Right.
singer.
No idea.
Reba McEntire?
Sebastian.
No
Really?
idea.
I'm going to say Reba McEntire.
No idea.
Reba.
Okay, so
I am a survive.
No
I did
Time-
listen to it.
No Time to Die is my pick.
Ooh, No Time to Die is a strong pick.
For me, yes, definitely. For me, it's Dos Uruguitas or No Time to Die, and I'm going for Dos Uruguitas just because.
Because you're repping.
Yeah, no.
No, you're not. It's not because
It's
you're repping.
Lin-Manuel Miranda and this song, and it's interesting because as I was researching for today,
Didn't he already win?
it was not yet.
He didn't win for Moana?
Did he win from Moana?
Won for Moana,
think
yeah.
so.
Okay. Anyways,
He deserves
and
one
a lot of
every
the
year.
comments what I was hearing was for people that do not speak Spanish, is like it didn't matter what he said.
Yeah.
I was in tears.
Mm-hmm.
That movie transmitted that emotion without even having to understand the words. And once you understand the words, even hit harder. So for me, this movie is wonderful.
And I think
I mean that music
Yeah.
song.
and I think your brother mentioned that this song was written in Spanish first
Yeah, he did.
and then
Lin-Manuel
translated
Miranda,
to English,
yes,
which is usually
he-
not how it works.
right. He wrote it in Spanish,
And that Lin-Manuel doesn't even operate in that way, so it was a
right
challenge
for him. For him, it was a challenge. For me, this is the win. For me, Dos Uruguitas is a beautiful song. It was beautiful, interpreted by Sebastian Yatras, another Colombian artist.
Mm-hmm.
And
Who?
Way to bury your
I
own
know,
people.
right?
Not Maluma.
No, but he's
It's
pretty.
not Juanes.
It's not Carlos
He's
Vives.
he's pretty.
It's not
known.
Shakira.
However, it couldn't.
Shakira's
I don't
Colombian?
think nobody else could have done
Not
this.
if you ask Colombians.
I don't think his voice is beautiful, and he did a great job.
Yeah, he did. He
This
really did.
this is my song. This is my song. I
Yeah.
listened to all of them. My second close will be No Time to Die.
Yes. That
However,
song is so good.
I think Dos Oruguitas is
Yeah,
like
it's more
you're writing the heart.
universal, emotional,
Yes, yes.
long lasting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think No Time to Die hit me. Like,
Yeah, because it's
even
true
when
though.
it released.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, there is no time to die. You know,
just
and I
die.
just really relate to that. Like,
It just felt like, man, this just feels like I feel like with the Daniel Craig films, I think the songs had been kind of a different take, I think,
yeah,
but still had that essence.
yes,
And this just feels like a straight up traditional Bond
it
song.
is. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that Billie
Which is
Eilish
crazy.
and-
Billie Eilish, traditional.
no, Billie Eilish and it's true. Billie Eilish and Phineas, I think, are geniuses. Like they're
I
I
They're
do
so
love
good.
Phineas and
I
Ferb.
do
But
think-
how
I do think
wonderful would it be that the winning song is a song in Spanish?
First of all, it's animated. It's gonna win. Animated always win songs.
That's not always
That's
true.
not always true.
I'll put money on it.
Writing original
Okay.
screenplay. We're gonna skip ahead to writing original screenplay on the bottom of our list. We got Belfast, Don't Look Up, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, and The Worst Person in the World.
Original scream.
Yeah, original screenplay. The last category.
I'm gonna go with Belfast.
Me too.
I'm gonna take this opportunity
Me
to
too.
talk about how much I did not like the story in Licorice Pizza.
No, me neither. I don't know how I feel
I don't know
about
what
it.
the movie was about, man.
I don't even know
I took
why
like
they
4
made
days
that
watching that
movie.
film.
I don't know
I
why.
went to watch it by myself.
You were so excited for it.
Yeah.
You're like,
Right?
this is gonna be best
So what
picture.
what was your reaction when you saw it by yourself?
I was like, oh.
Was
am
it
am I surrounded by pedophiles?
Right.
Okay.
Why
that
are
is-
you?
No.
No,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
like,
no, I
and
Well,
that's why I was like,
I'm pretty
what's-
sure the people at the movie theaters were not very.
no.
Maybe they
you
went
were,
in.
no,
I don't
you
think
were
any-
surrounded by cinephiles who were being seduced
Indoctrinated.
to be pedophiles.
I was like, oh, this is
For those of
weird.
you that don't know, because this conversation got real
And
mature
spoilers,
real
by
fast.
the way.
It's not spoilers. This is the synopsis.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a 15-year-old boy. She's a 25-year-old woman.
Mhm.
He acts like a man. He has his own job,
Allegedly, because
business.
she never really says her age
Why,
in
you
the
think
movie.
she's older?
Well, there
No,
is
she
an
does.
No, she says she's 25.
no, there is an instance that she has in the movie that she's having a conversation,
Uh-huh.
and maybe I'm making this up,
You
But-
are.
but
I'm just kidding.
she alludes to the idea that she actually might be 27.
No, she says I'm 28 as a lie,
Oh,
and then
okay.
the person's like, huh? And then
R-
she's like, I'm 25.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't
It
make
doesn't
it better.
really matter. I mean, it's a relationship between a 25-year-old woman and a 50-year-old kid.
Okay, this movie. go
And
ahead.
it's-
I did think
weird.
Cooper Hoffman did a great job, though.
Okay, I think I.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Who's that?
The
Main guy.
the guy.
Oh, the kid.
What
Yeah.
about the girl from
Haim.
Chaim,
her sisters.
Chaim.
Haim.
I don't know.
And her sisters were in it too.
And her sisters,
I like the
the whole-
band, so
that's
I
the
thought that
whole
was cool
band,
seeing
yeah.
them. But seriously, I did not know. What
I didn't enjoy
it's
this movie at
about.
all.
Yeah. Okay. In its defense, it's beautifully shot. It's well directed.
Sure.
A lot
Some-
of running.
Yeah. One
Yeah,
of my
so- yeah.
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 A film student defended this movie to me, and then they're like, "It's not a model film. You're not supposed to be like this story is okay." And I get that, but I feel like the third act is like so cliche. Like it's just they fall into each other's arm and they're in love. Sorry, spoilers. You don't have to watch this movie. I try to convince someone, "Hey, give it a
Don't
shot,"
wa-
and then
you
they
don't
convince
have
me
to.
they
You
don't have
really
to. Yeah.
don't have to watch this movie.
Yeah, they just like it's just I don't know. It was just a cliche romantic movie between
Okay, I
a boy and a
don't-
woman. I don't
I actually wouldn't.
reverse graduate.
I
don't
wouldn't.
know.
I wouldn't mind if the worst person,
Worst
in the world.
I
wins.
think.
I think I would love that to win.
Yeah.
But I think Belfast might win it.
Belfast. Yeah, Belfast is my pick.
Honestly, Belfast, King Richard, the worst person in the world. These are all acceptable wins for me.
Next category, adapted screenplay. This is when instead of writing an original story, they're adapting from a previous work, whether it be a previous movie, a TV show, a book, a comic, graphic novel, anything, whatever it might be. So we got Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, The Lost Daughter, and Power of the Dog.
It's actually.
I'll say my pick is Dune. My pick is Dune.
I think Dune. Yeah, reading the actual source
Me
material
too.
and seeing how they did it on the
Mhm.
film was
I
amazing.
go.
So
I go
agree.
with Dune.
I think Dune.
I think
it
Dune.
was. I know, having read the book, it
Mhm.
is a huge mountain to climb.
It's like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like reading Lord of the Rings, I'm like,
yes.
wow, Peter Jackson is fantastic.
Like I don't even
Even
know how
more
you
amazing
start.
than yeah.
Yeah, like this is. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
anyway.
That's the only one I watched. So
Okay, Coda was great too. Again,
Yeah.
watch Coda.
You
and
you
Drive My
like
Car.
Coda, Lane.
Yeah.
You
Anyone
should
will
watch
love
it. Yeah,
Movie-
Coda should be
Lunana
watched.
and Coda are movies that I think any listener will enjoy.
Enjoy
And watch it. Really quick, I want to
yes.
cover visual effects. Dune, Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi, and Spider-Man. My pick is Spider-Man, but
Dune.
it might be Dune. I think it's the real answer is Dune, but my pick is Spider-Man.
Bold choice. Not a bold choice, actually. That's a strong
I
contender.
want Spider-Man to win something, so I'm gonna
Exactly.
pick Spider-Man.
That'd be nice, yeah.
I mean,
And,
Superman Returns won visual effects.
So I
So
wouldn't be. I actually wouldn't be shocked if Spider-Man wins either.
Yeah.
All I know is the Batman better sweep all these categories next year.
yeah.
No, I hope he's nominated for Best Picture.
If it's not, good luck getting me to watch Oscars.
What about it is? And what about if he wins?
He'll still complain.
Yeah.
Really? After they give you what you
You
want?
can't
Yes,
win.
it wasn't a funny movie.
You can't win.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You think we have time for the short films, or should we just cut
No,
to
no,
Best
no. Let's
Picture?
just go to Best Picture. Yeah.
Okay. Watch all the short films, animated. Well, actually, no. Don't watch the
Man,
animated.
Yeah.
Go to Disney Plus and watch all the animated shorts they released this year that didn't get nominated.
Just watch Robin
I
out
wouldn't.
of that list.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Netflix.
It's short
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
You're
It's
good.
not short enough.
Everything else will traumatize you.
It's a little long. Like 35 minutes.
No, it's not that long.
It's not that long.
It felt like an hour.
Oh,
and a half. Okay. Short film. Okay, the one that we come for, the big one, Best Picture, Belfast. Really quick, let's talk a second of each of these 10 films before we wrap up. Belfast.
Loved it. That's
Okay.
probably my pick for
That's my
Best
pick
Picture.
for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we've touched about what this movie is about. So for anyone who doesn't know, it is a black and white film
Mm-hmm.
about what period? History, teacher.
Why do you put me in the spot
Yeah,
like
see,
that?
because you did it to me earlier, so now I'm returning the favor. Okay, it's a time of turmoil
in
in
Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just follows the childhood of a boy in
Right.
Belfast, Northern Ireland, during the Troubles in
The
69.
Troubles. That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I always think. Just the troubling time. What is it?
What
It's called
year?
The
What year are
Troubles.
we talking about? It feels like the 60s.
Who's
69.
putting
How do you
who's
know?
putting
69?
who
Yeah.
on the spot
How do you
now?
not know? How do you
69.
not know this?
So this was happening simultaneously with Summer of Soul. So you can watch both those movies
Yeah.
like side by side. Anyways, a great film. Kenneth Branagh directs it amazingly. Coda.
It's my next. It's my runner-up. It's right up there with Belfast.
Yeah.
Okay, but before we move on from Belfast,
Mhm.
why do I like Belfast?
Go ahead.
Because it's an honest film.
Absolutely.
And I think that it's really nice when people tell stories about a time period and they keep it honest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They don't romanticize the period. These were our struggles. This is why we have to leave. This is why we cried. This is why our family were terrified. And I think that Belfast did a great job telling an honest period film.
And shout out to Link for making me watch Dairy Girls on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that was a great precursor to watching this film, so I can understand what they're saying.
Yes. And by the way, that show, I love it.
Okay,
Watch that movie.
If
Yeah.
you're looking
Show.
to watch
Yeah.
Belfast, you can rent or buy on Amazon Prime or any other digital retailer.
Cheerio.
Coda. If you thought that the Irish Troubles in black and white is too artistic for you, anyone can watch this movie. Coda. Super
Yes.
accessible.
Yeah.
How would you? This movie is.
Oh, it's great.
I loved it. I think like
It's
this.
yeah.
It's incredible. Like how I mentioned before about the deaf community getting the representation and
Yeah.
even in other
Coda.
roles.
Coda is child.
2 years in a row as well.
Well,
Last
how-
year they had The Sound of Metal.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sound of Metal
really?
was really good.
There was a
I
short
don't
film
think
that
I
I
watched that.
teach sometimes called The Silent Child, which is very strong
Very
and powerful
nice.
too.
Yeah.
Coda is child of deaf adults, correct?
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
So it's interesting because it's from the perspective of a hearing person in a family of deaf individuals.
Yeah, who really they're really dependent upon her
Mhm.
for their business. They fish as
Mhm.
the family fishes.
Right.
And it's incredible just the amount of responsibility that this teenage girl has when she doesn't really have like a normal childhood, when she
Mm.
has to bear so much responsibility for the family. And she
It's-
also has a talent for singing, and she wants to pursue that, and she really, it's like a coming of age story. She really
Right.
finds confidence
Mhm.
from her teacher and her peers.
The next film, this was a divisive movie when it came out, and I missed it around Christmas time. I believe it dropped on Christmas Day on Netflix. Don't Look Up. What were your thoughts on Don't Look Up?
If there was a comedy category, it would win.
I like this movie.
So this is your pick for Best
Me
Picture then?
too. I like this movie.
I like this movie,
Yeah.
and I mean, I've had a discussion with George. I
Yeah.
don't think it should be in Best Picture. I don't
No,
think it should
I
be
don't- I
nominated.
don't
I
think
like
so
this movie, and I
either.
understand why it is in Best Picture. It shouldn't
Right.
win, but I think it is worthy of Best Picture.
Yes, I everybody that watched this movie were like, "Oh, this movie was terrible. Like, why is it nominated?"
Because they watched it during Christmas Eve, like I
And they
did.
got depressed. I
Yes,
saw it a month
guess.
later.
I guess, but let me tell you, I thought it was a good film.
It's a good
I don't know
movie.
if
I
it was
like
the best film of the year, but it was a good film.
But
It
it's,
would have been a good one to put in the comedy category.
well, like
Sure.
from this same director, right? Adam
Mhm.
McKay, The Big Short, that
The
was
Big Short.
nominated for Best Picture,
Also,
correct?
could also
Right.
Okay,
The
so
Vice
Okay.
as well.
so I guess if a comedy is good enough, it gets nominated, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Drive My Car. Oh, also, we didn't really talk about what Don't Look Up is about.
Oh, okay.
It's on Netflix. You can watch it.
Okay, yeah.
Literally, yeah, it's on Netflix.
All right.
Yeah.
Doing my boy Adam McKay.
Drive My
dirty.
Car is on HBO Max, a movie you probably would never get the chance to see, but thanks to the streaming wars, you can dissect it in its 3-hour runtime.
It's beautiful. I love it.
It's an amazing movie.
It is.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
The cinematography, the acting, the story, the writing. I think just I love this film. It is long,
Mhm.
and you definitely feel it, but I also feel like it's in a weird way. It's kind of refreshing in the sense that like some of the scenes are really dragged out. Like they really take their time with the scenes.
There's like
but,
2 movies here.
especially with conversation. Yeah, there's like the first 40 minutes is like just a build up basically.
It's
Then
like a short
then the movie
film.
starts.
That's the intro, the prologue.
it's like a prequel. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's beautiful. If you think it's too slow, or you think it's too pessimistic, or you think it's too down, power through to it,
Mhm.
digest it in parts, because the ending is so powerful to me.
It is long.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you do have to power through it, and it is in Japanese. FYI.
But if you watch anime, you're good.
And if you don't watch anime, start. Dune. We've talked a lot about this. This movie's amazing.
I love this movie.
I
One of
love
my
this
favorite movies of the
movie.
year.
It's a Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings of this generation.
Yeah.
My heart wants it to win.
agree.
But my mind knows that
Yeah.
there's better movies from
But if it
the
wins,
criteria.
you know, I will be happy for it.
Because that's a win for everyone. That's a win
Yeah,
for The Wrestler.
know.
That's a win for The Dark Knight. That's a win for
Yeah.
every great picture that didn't get nominated.
And also for
Saving Private
for
Ryan.
Villeneuve, for Denis.
Yeah, absolutely. For
The
Blade Runner.
The tragedy of Blade Runner 2049.
Right.
The Caro.
Gario.
Sicario.
King Richard.
King Richard. We talked about it. Venus and Serena's father.
I thought this story was really powerful. I thought
Yeah,
it was
I do
great.
remember.
Yeah.
I love
Great
this film.
film.
You weren't
Yeah,
super
great
aware of
story.
it, right? Going into it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was illuminating. Terrific movie. Licorice Pizza. No one here liked it.
I did
I'm
not
sure
like
some
it.
people do. It's fine. Paul Thomas Anderson. We'll try
And if
again
you
next
like
time.
it, please tell us why.
Yeah, please. We want to
in
know why. We want to.
Instagram. I don't
yeah.
know what is it that you guys are at.
Instagram, Twitter,
Link. This is your.
possibly
this is your
Facebook.
cue.
S4M podcast.
On?
At it. Instagram,
Twitter
Twitter.
and
S4M.
searching for MacGuffin.
Please leave a
on
comment.
Facebook.
Why is it that if you like this movie, why?
Be
you
careful.
do
Be
you
careful
like
what
this
you say.
movie?
Why?
yeah,
Yes.
the FBI is
Yes,
watching.
yeah.
Yes.
They're reading your messages.
Yes.
Nightmare Alley. We didn't talk about this. What is Nightmare Alley?
I don't care.
No, this
Uh,
movie was
I
good.
didn't care about it.
Do you see it?
You didn't watch
Yeah.
it.
No.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Oh.
weren't impressed?
I wasn't impressed.
That's
Gabriel, what did I do during the movie?
You fell
You want to
asleep.
know? You want to know why
You
he
fell
wasn't
asleep.
impressed?
Go ahead.
Why?
Because he slept.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But you know, I gotta agree.
Kate Blanchett's amazing in this
I
movie.
gotta agree with Link. No, they're
Bradley Cooper's amazing.
no, they
in
were
this movie.
great. The movie was great, but it's not a movie that I will put in this category.
I will put
I
it
agree
in the
with that.
same category as Don't Look Up.
I would put
does
it-
not
Yeah,
deserve to be.
I
it's
agree
a
with
great
you.
film, and I enjoyed it.
I don't-
I
Tragedy Macbeth. That is the real tragedy.
Yeah.
Yes, I
okay.
agree.
I agree with you there. I think the movie is great, and I loved it. But it's the kind of movie that you like stumble upon, and you're like, guys, have you seen this movie? This movie's
Right.
super good. When you tell me it's nominated for Best Picture,
You're like, oh, really?
I expected something.
That's too
different.
much expectation.
Right.
on
Yeah,
Palmer.
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
it doesn't live up to that.
My
kind of
hot
vibe.
take, I think Guillermo del Toro is overrated.
No.
What? Pan's Labyrinth?
I love Pan's Labyrinth.
Hellboy 2, The Golden Army?
No.
That
Have
movie's
you
great. That
seen
movie is
Pan's
great.
Labyrinth?
I mean, the guy's overrated.
Have you
No,
seen
he's
Hellboy 2, The
not.
Golden Army?
No, I haven't seen Hellboy.
Okay.
No.
What-
he's a
give
great
me one more.
director. Yeah, he's
The
a great
Shape
Shape of Water.
Okay, never mind. Anyways,
There
nah,
you
I think
go.
it's for that movie's fine.
No,
I
but
just
Shape of
I don't
Water,
understand.
Shape
It's
of
a good
Water is
movie.
not a bad movie.
No, it's a good movie.
It's
I just
yeah.
I didn't understand what
overrated
was.
Is it in the same
Yeah.
category?
The power. Okay, what is it about? Also, the carnival something. Okay, that's
It-
why it's on HBO Max. Also,
It's like
He's a con artist.
He's
Yeah.
a carny that becomes a con
Right,
artist
right,
and
yeah.
karma. You know.
Right.
There you go.
exactly.
Carney, con artist, karma.
Yes.
Wow, you just sold me better than whatever the blurb on HBO is. They should just write that. And finally, no, not finally, The Power of the Dog.
I love this movie.
I think watching this movie again, where I'm actually paying attention, because I mean, at the time I was like taking breaks, I was working at the same time. So, I think the misstep for me in this film was they sold it to me as Benedict Cumberbatch best performance, and I'm like, is that really? So I read this. I literally read the plot. I read the plot. I knew everything that was gonna happen.
I did the same thing.
And then I watched the film, and I'm like, the whole time, I'm like, man, this got 12 nominations or 11 nominations. This has the most nominations.
This got 11 nominations.
Yeah.
I love
Get
this
tied
movie,
Lord of the
you
Rings.
guys.
I think.
It tied Lord of the Rings and Titanic.
I
And
gotta. Go ahead.
And I'm like, all right, fine. But then you guys were watching, and I caught the back half of it, the back end of it, and I'm like, man,
This is powerful.
Yeah, this is actually really good. So I went back and rewatched, and I was like, this movie's actually really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
this movie's actually really good.
I love this movie. I thought it was. You know what it felt like? Like a great Western poem. That is what.
An honest depiction of
yes,
the West.
I think that
No
for
bunking
many
Broncos
years
here.
we have
Bronco Henry.
we have romanticized the West and the life of a catboy.
Yeah.
And it's not. Like when I teach my students this time period, it was lonely, it is hard, it is dirty, it is a really, really difficult time period for the people that live in this region.
It's no Doctor Strange, though. So.
Right. And I think that the movie did a beautiful job at those moments of silence in the film when it's just about look at the grandeur of the desert. And I don't know. There's so many great things about this film, and Cumberbatch was wonderful. The kid was wonderful. I love this film.
Which I think is the point. Like, I think at some point Cumberbatch's character is like, he sees something in the mountain range that nobody else can see.
Yes.
And then, like, since nobody else can see it, they really dig deep and pay attention to the landscape, which I think on a second viewing, I'm like, man, you just appreciate it more from a film perspective. I was like, man, this is great. The score was haunting, which I love. I thought it was fantastic.
Yes.
But yeah, Jane Campion has
Cumberbatch was haunting. I think his.
Listen.
Yeah.
I think this might win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do want to warn the people that are listening. It's not your typical cowboy movie.
Yeah.
It's not about, shooting.
It takes some unexpected
It's not
turns.
action. It's
Keep
not
an
that.
open mind.
Yes, keep an open mind. It's not that kind of film. It's not that kind of Western that we are used to when we think about Western movies.
Yeah.
So keep an open mind when you go see that movie. It's in Netflix,
Yeah,
right?
but it's on Netflix. But if you can only watch one Benedict Cumberbatch movie this year, watch
Doctor
Spider-Man
Strange.
No Way Home.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
no.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
okay.
No Way Home.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
This year, yeah.
Yes,
No Way
this
Home.
year.
So now available at
Yeah.
all your digital retailers. Not nominated for Best Picture. But what is West Side Story, which is now on Disney Plus, so everyone can watch it if you missed it in theaters, like I did. West Side Story.
And I'm kind of bummed. I should have watched the movie in theaters.
Yeah.
Like like watching it at home. Like, man, this would have been like it's a great experience. But I think like in theaters it would have hit home even harder.
Did it have a Dolby release?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would have been kind of hot. But it came out in a weird time, right? That was like a holiday release?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. I was only watching Spider-Man.
No
I watched Spider-Man like
no
8
one
times. Like,
watched this movie in theaters.
No,
That's why it did not make money.
Well, that's true, yeah. But it's going to make
Money.
lots of
now-
bank, yeah.
Now that
No.
it wins,
Yeah.
and now that it's on Disney Plus.
Well, you know what? I hope it does, and I hope people do see
That would
it.
be a strong win if it is. I don't think it's going to
Yes.
win. I know
And
you're
I'm
like adamant about this. Why are you so adamant?
because they need to make their money back. They're gonna.
Who won the BAFTA?
BAFTA doesn't do that.
Oh, it
they
doesn't
don't do
that?
best film?
Picture?
Oh no, they do. But no,
In a wa-
Belfast won BAFTA.
An award
Belfast.
ceremony, it doesn't do Best
No,
Picture.
Belfast
man,
won
we
BAFTA.
should be doing a BAFTA episode, man.
Yeah, I
I
know.
do think BAFTAs are more prestigious, but it's because they're British.
They make it more
Wow.
prestigious.
That just makes it more prestigious
really
somehow.
does.
Okay.
No, Belfast
kind
won
of tracks
BAFTA.
actually.
won the
Really?
BAFTA.
Belfast? Belfast would be a great pick too. I've heard that the favorite for a long time has been Power of the Dog, but that it's shifting to Coda.
I don't know.
please.
They're both great films. I think the Power of the Dog stay with me longer.
Coda.
But let's talk about West Side Story.
Yeah.
Great film. As I was watching the movie with George, I was telling George, man, it's incredible. This film is a story in the 1950s, yet those themes are still so relevant today.
Absolutely.
You know,
it's just Spielberg kind of tweaks the details,
so great.
but like still, he leaves behind those things that don't resonate the way it was interpreted in the original film, but still so much of the original, like the screenplay, the musical numbers, the lyrics, all of that is just, it's so still like of today.
Yeah.
It's an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Watch it on Disney Plus. Okay, did everybody say what their pick was for Best Picture?
No.
All right, final pick. What's your Best Picture?
What I want to win is Belfast, what is probably gonna win, like I've been saying, West Side Story.
Okay.
Really, you think West Side Story is gonna win?
Yeah.
Okay.
They need to make their money back.
What I have to pick,
Mm-hmm.
like what I think would win.
What do you think would win? What do you want to win?
Power of the Dog or Belfast. I want Belfast to win, but then and also like I really want Coda to win.
Okay. Me personally, I think Power of the Dog is still a strong contender. Seems like it's shifting to Coda, and I could go with Coda. What does my heart want? My heart wants Dune to be the most celebrated film of the year, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
If that happens,
Oh man, I'll be happy.
oh man.
What about you, Gise?
I think Power of the Dog is gonna win. However, if it doesn't win, if Coda wins or Belfast wins or
Licorice Pizza.
no, not that one. Yeah, I think those are good choices. As long as Licorice Pizza does not win. And what's the other one that we didn't? Oh,
Don't Look Up.
No, we think that Don't Look Up and Nightmare Alley probably shouldn't win Best Picture or
right.
even
But
be nominated. But
yeah, they're good films.
but they're good films. Yeah.
Yeah, So I don't know. I'm going with Power of the Dog, if I have to choice right now.
Best Picture, a category that kind of exemplifies everything that the Academy Awards attempt to stand for. All the struggles that we go through in life, whether it's political strife in Belfast, whether it's disability in Coda, whether it's social issues and political divide in Don't Look Up, grief, mourning, distrust in Drive My Car, global cataclysmic disaster in Dune, the grind in trying to come up from nothing and become something in King Richard, forbidden love that society just won't accept in Licorice Pizza, being our own worst enemy in Nightmare Alley, finding a place in the world that you've created and having no one there around you in Power of the Dog, or the divide that divides us socially, racially, through time. All these issues, we deal with them all throughout history. They've come, they've gone, they've returned, and will continue to struggle with so many of these conflicts that we face. We tell these stories so we can do better. We tell them, we retell them, we talk about them, we talk about those stories, and we come back around. They inform who we are, and then we in turn share our stories to the generation that comes after us. As we keep looking to find the meaning in our story, we look all around the world at the stories that are told through film. And as we continue to explore that and other mediums week to week here, we invite you to join us and keep on searching.